What's up? Happy Friday.
Thank
and
you.
Happy Mother's Day weekend. Oh, yeah, Anya, sure.
Hi.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
How are you?
How are you?
What?
AMC to the moon.
Say AMC the moon?
I see the moon, baby.
Yeah, girl.
I teach her well.
Yes, that's solid parenting right there. Should write a book about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm planning on it.
My
Yo, my favorite people here, man.
What up? Shook, I love your new profile pic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love them hat. Oh, my girl's here too, man. Look at that. Tara's here.
Tara's in the house.
I've been, man, it's been a while since I heard her voice.
I just invited her to speak. If she wants to, no pressure. Maybe she's in the middle of something.
She's on vacation, man. She don't care about us no more.
She's probably fending off harassment from so-called apes in the community.
Yeah, I send you something, and yeah, it's getting crazy, man. It's what they are trying to do to her is that's what they've been their agenda for a while, and I've been trying to refrain from saying anything, but some people just can't stand the fact, man. I mean, I can understand how a grown ass people going at a girl, and you disagree with something, that's fine. But calling somebody out like that, can you believe?
They're keyboard warriors, bud. They got fake profiles and fake names, so they can say whatever they want to try to discredit Tara in the community.
Yeah, it's very easy to say whatever the hell you want when you're anonymous.
Yep.
What did I miss today? I was at a business lunch all day.
Just some
Hey,
people.
girl. I love hearing you guys speculate about what I'm doing. I'm not on vacation anymore. I'm at home, and life is boring now. So I'm back. Hi, Sugar. Hi, Gold. Hi, Duckinator.
Hey.
I see PJ, Mike. So many faces. Oh my gosh, I miss you guys.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Hey, guys, I'm going to drop down because I'm working, but I just want to say, hey, happy Friday.
You too, man. So how was your vacation, Tara?
It was amazing, but I couldn't stay off Twitter, unfortunately. Like, I really tried, but I think I kept on every single day. Plus, it was during the time when all the Elon Musk stuff was going down, and that was just crazy. Like, I mean, I'm super jacked about him, taking over Twitter, and I really think he'll do good things with the place, so.
Me too. He tweeted today, he said they're going to focus on software development and server development and stuff. I think he'll end up turning Twitter into one of the single best social media platforms. And I tweeted at him today, I said, once you get it figured out, Twitter would be a perfect utility for normal people to identify locations with high human trafficking issues. You could just drop a pin on a map, and then the government could literally start focusing more on those areas to identify risks. I think he's going to do something amazing like that.
Starting with Epstein's Island.
Yep. They're starting in DC.
Spence, do you know how if somebody is blocked, we can get them on the call? Because I remember somebody was blocked and they were on our call. Elohim asked me, that he got suspended. Sorry, not blocked. And how can we get him on the call? Is there any way?
He can go to my YouTube channel, but if he's suspended, he can't even get on Twitter. So
Yeah, that's just wrong, man.
He'd have to start a new account.
For that, you need a new phone number, right?
I don't think so. I'm not sure how it works.
New email for sure. that's the thing about like people trying to bait people, and they've been doing it to me for a long time, and then people get angry when they get blocked. But the thing is when I block people, I'm doing it for my own, like for their own good. Like I do not want to, get to the point of, a level of anger on Twitter that's going to jeopardize my account or get me shut down. So it's for everyone's good. If I block someone, just know it's for the better. But there are people like Gasparino and people who are in the community, if you will, who will try to get people, they'll bait you and and then they'll go and mass report you with all their accounts. And it's unfortunate. I think that's what went down today. And then seeing the celebration of it afterward, it's like, that's another person who we just lost their voice, who talks about AMC, supports AMC, goes to the theater, constantly puts up pictures of his, when he's at the movies, he tags the people who work at the movie theater, at his movie theater, like he's made friends with these people. So yeah, it's just really disheartening that there are people who are, wanting to push their agenda onto me, for me to push it forward and get angry when I don't, but I know their true colors. They've already shown them. So there's nothing that benefits me to push someone forward and garner them more attention when they're just going to lash out at me, afterward. It doesn't benefit me in any way, shape, or form. I would rather, have the Elohims who I can share their pictures that they're posting at AMC, supporting the stock, supporting the company. Those are the posts that I appreciate, not these weird DD like threads that half the time they don't even make sense, and they're so bizarre and so over the top that I just can't even connect with it. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just it totally like plays into the whole conspiracy theory thing. And I don't know if they're purposely doing that or if they just don't see it for themselves, but we aren't conspiracy theorists. We're realists. And, our level of expectations for how the system should work and how the system should be run isn't that much to ask for. And we don't need some deep dive, weird, off the wall, tinfoil hat DD to put it out there and say, this is wrong. What is happening with the market right now is wrong. And it's not just AMC. We're seeing it across the board, and I don't know. I just am so tired of it. And I'm so tired of feeling like the underdogs are, just getting kicked while we're down, and seeing another person who just is a huge, supporter of the stock, of the company, go and have their account suspended by someone who claims to be, is just so infuriating. It's beyond frustrating. Well, that's not what we should be doing.
The people who came in to attack have not tweeted anything at me or on my threads in over 6 months. They saw you pop in and they know something big is coming. And I'm telling you, I used to support Wired like to the T. He had great ideas and was pushing really good stuff. And then his engagement died down and he got pissy with me when mine went up, which isn't my fault. But they came in today like GME maxis trying to destroy anything positive that was going on. So I'm not surprised. And I'm telling you, like Tara said, you guys, don't engage them. Just freaking block them and move on, because it hurts the community when we lose people.
Exactly. Well, and that was the irony, is it was on your tweet, saying thanks to the people who didn't harass people. Right. And then he takes it to the point of harassing. It's like, do you not see the irony in exactly what you're doing? This is exactly what we don't need. Like, I don't know him. I don't even know his first name. I don't know what he does in his personal life. He has the privilege of knowing things about me. I don't know anything about him. I don't know how he, makes a living. I don't know. And I don't care to know. It's none of my business. Just because we're both invested in something, and who even knows how true that is? You know what I mean? Like, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But the fact that he wants to lash out like that, it's like, that is just exactly what we don't need. We're all, if you're really on the same team, you're on the same team. You don't even have to like people personally, but 100%. Also don't expect people to just push your agenda for you when you treat them like trash. Like, I'm sorry, but you teach people the way you want to be treated. And that's what I feel. If I'm helping someone out constantly who turns around and trashes me behind my back, then I'm teaching them that it's okay to turn around and trash me. You have to command respect, and you have to teach people how you want to be treated. And you do that with actions, not with words. So today, his actions, it was enough, and I had enough, and that's why you get blocked, and it sucks, but it is what it is. It's better than getting your account suspended.
Well, Tara, he was disrespecting you, so you had every right to defend yourself and block. That's what the block, button's for. So
I think he's a coward. Hides behind a fake profile and a fake name, saying he's an ape but can never prove it. I'm sorry. That's just, I've had it with these people, man. The community has been so solid for the past probably like 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, when good news for BBIG picks up, or AMC news comes out, or Highcroft spikes, these clowns come back in and start trying to stir the community up. Just block them and move on. And then they're going to make their little post about how you blocked them, and if they were for free speech and blah blah blah.
You know what, Spence? You're 100% right.
They're free to speak. I don't have to listen. Go ahead.
Exactly. I'm just saying, I'm in it with some guy that I remember his name from a year and a half ago, but now he's under a different name, and haven't seen him in ages, and he's calling you a liar and Mark a crazy man and all this ridiculousness, and he's wearing this tinfoil hat, and it's upsetting to me, and he's supposed to be for AMC. Anyway.
What guy is it, if I may ask?
If the people on Tinder had fake profiles, would you go out on a date with them? If you saw a cartoon character in the profile?
Probably not.
But you trust them with your money? Come on.
Right. And I want to just say this. I'm choosing to celebrate tonight because so many people have all different kinds of DD, and none of it truly is from left field regarding price and when things will happen. And everybody, even though their DD is different, different theories, different whatever, it all points to the same time and all around the same price range. So I'm going to celebrate that tonight because we need that in the community. We need this big old bump up because right now I think we're feeling really defeated at 13 and change or $14. And yes, it's a buying opportunity, but with every buying opportunity, there is still some kind of feeling of defeat. And I don't think that feeling of defeat is going to last that much longer.
You're right. Yes, buy the dips, but I know what you're saying, PJ. Sometimes there's times too when I get kind of, down about it, like, what the heck? And I think that's normal.
Tara, Paul Jung on YouTube said it's really nice to hear your voice again.
Oh, thanks. It feels good to be back in the family.
I just got a DM from 2 people, and they said, it's like old days, and they are happy to hear your voice.
Well, they should be thanking you, Sugar, because let me just say, Sugar's been behind the scenes saying over and over, Tara, when are you coming back? When are you coming back?
That's because people were sending me DMs. Some people are shy. They don't want to come to the speaker, and they ask me, like lot of times, like, we miss the old days, like our calls. There was a time, we. And you guys, there was a time when, we all were making noise and, stuff was getting done. So, people missed all that, man. So I'm just glad you are back, and, I'm just happy that you're here. You just made my Friday, man. I'm gonna drink a shot of Jack on you today.
Sugar, your cowboy hat.
One for me. Oh my gosh.
You know what I wish? I wish that we can have something called like Survivor Island and take your theories about what you want to do with AMC and let us take ours and see who blows it up.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I wish we could have a contest like this. Is Spence going to get tacos?
I'm drinking a Marble local craft brew cerveza currently because I'll tell you right now, you guys, I am more confident in what's about to happen than I have ever been in this play.
I just wanted to say that Elon Musk's burner account is in here. So shout out to Elon. I see you down there. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I'm going bowling in a little bit, so I'm excited.
Hold
I
on.
suck at bowling.
My future boyfriend's burner account is on here. Hi, Elon.
I had a dream. I swear to kid you not. It was like 3 nights ago. Yeah, that I was like married to him, and then I woke up and I just wanted to go back to sleep again.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Don't say that in front of your husband.
I mean, like I'm happily married, right? I was like, damn.
I love when PJ turns on her sultry voice. She's like, "Wait, Elon's in here." I'm like,
So
"Oh,
true.
get it, girl, get it."
Elon is so hot.
Oh my goodness! I don't know. I'm not gonna say.
YouTube viewers go up every time PJ gets into her 1888 phone number sex line voice.
On my old business, we used to sell truffles and caviar. I'd be like, "Hi, you've reached blah blah blah. We have first grade truffles from France today for $4,000 a pound." And they would just like, or they would wait until midnight and
Okay,
order
where do
all
I
my
buy the
books.
truffle?
Yeah,
It was so hysterical.
PJ, do that, but say buy AMC stock.
Yeah.
Can't now because I'm drinking too much wine and eating potato
You
chips.
sound like the girl that's on the naughty shows I wasn't supposed to watch as a kid. The Cinemax before it came
Oh,
out.
I remember those.
Welcome to
I
Lady.
was
Yeah.
like, what is Ghost like the truth serum today? Like, what is going on right now? This
You
is
should
hilarious.
seriously do commercials.
What happens when you mix wine and stuff and space calls, I think.
Wine and stuff.
Or with
Wine and stuff.
This is what we need in the calls. Like the foreign custom of a little
Yes.
bit of chit chat before business, man. You know what I mean?
A
I
little
agree.
drinky. What kind of wine are you drinking?
Moscato Sangria.
Ooh, I'm drinking something called 1,000 Stories, and I'm not really a wine drinker, except this is a beautiful red Ziff, and it's only like 17 or 18 bucks, and it is really no hangover at the end of the night.
Nice.
I'm still drinking coffee. I haven't even woke up yet, and you guys have moved on already. Hey, it's Friday, right?
Well, it is like almost 5 p.m. Eastern here in Michigan, so, you know, and it's Friday. So why not start now?
Oh my gosh, I left work at like 2:30, and I went and got the wine. So I'm thinking it's like 6 o'clock, and it's only 4:45.
I gotta find it, but somebody posted a new thing about a congressman from Michigan, West Michigan, who literally just challenged the financial institutions in an open letter and the
Really?
FEC.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Let me find it.
Yeah.
And he's in Congress?
I'm not sure if it's. I'm pretty sure it's the Michigan Congress, but it's still a start.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Forward that info to me. I'm interested in knowing, more about that. So
Yes.
thank
Guys,
you.
I mean, I kind of think we have like a handful of catalysts that could possibly, cause AMC and GameStop to go up, So I'm kind of excited for the next month or so here.
Me too. I'm really expectant that amazing things are going to happen this month, and they are. Like I said before, everybody's different TA is pointing to the same thing, and that I like. I mean, if one TA was like this way, the other way, but everything, no matter what kind of TA it is pointing to May, June. Well, we're in May, but June, July, May, June, July, like around this time.
Can I take a second to explain my Hoyle's theory that has been 10 out of 10 predictions for the past 2 weeks? I've made a lot of money these past 2 weeks on it, and it centers around high open interest on the lowest strike for calls. For the past 2 weeks, AMC and Highcroft have been closing on expiration day below the lowest strike with call options, say $1.50, that have high open interest, but nothing below that. Market makers are generating FTDs to beat the stock price down so they can make money on their puts on the way down and steal premiums out of the calls from retail. Since we started No Options May, I've seen 3 posts talking about how retail traders, the gamers in their mom's basement, money's dried up because there's no movement in the options chain from retail, right? For everybody that doesn't know, the payment for order flow, the most money distributed from payment for order flow is through the options chain. Citadel pays more for options flow than anything else. They do it so as the market maker, they can front run the entire play. So if they buy puts and then they come in and they load some calls in to bait in retail, and retail goes, oh, look at that. Hycroft $2 puts look really good. I'm going to jump in. It looks like everybody's doing that. They jump in, then the market makers back out, crush the price down with FTDs, steal the premiums, and make money on their puts on the way down. So what happened is we started No Options May, which is trending on Twitter right now. It had the number 300 under it today. I was so happy. Well, for the past 2 weeks, we've been doing this. We bought the dip at 125. Everybody's super happy about that. Then we ran to 190 and got slammed at $2 because $2 last week was the highest open interest on the lowest strike. So market makers slammed it below $2. People made money off their 125 buy. But then I got on and I said, hey, this week, 150, they're going to try to put it below. This morning, they dropped it to 144. What happened is retail came in perfectly, bought the dip up, created the necessary buying pressure that beat out the market makers, and then they realized, shit, there's no retail in the $1.50 calls. So if there's no retail in those $1.50 calls, that $1.50 strike, there's no point in letting it go below that because they're going to get hammered as market makers without making any money off of premiums. So today, market makers probably made a little bit on their calls, and their long position they hold to hedge against their short went up a little bit, but they lost more money on their puts and their shorts than they did. We beat them out today on Hycroft. So next week, the highest open interest, lowest strike is $1.50 again, which we're hovering around, right? If we stay above that, that's extremely bullish. That means retail is not buying in on that strike price in those calls. But May 20th, the highest open interest, lowest strike is $2.50. And for AMC, it's $20. May 20th options chain is juiced. So if we don't see a run to 250 on Hycroft, I will be extremely surprised. And if we don't see action above $15 for AMC, I'll be even more surprised. Next week for AMC, it is once again $15 highest open interest, lowest strike. So I don't, unless a whale comes in or a catalyst happens next week, I see us staying around right where we're at. But the week of May 20th, I see us taking some upward movement, which puts us right in line perfectly with what happened last June. So I'm stoked. I'm not trying to brag, but I literally pulled 13K this past 2 weeks on doing this Hoyle's method.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
My tits are slightly jacked. Sorry if that's long-winded. It's if you don't get it, DM me. I'm going to write a freaking paper on it. But it only works if retail stays out of the options chain. Any options you buy directly contribute to payment for order flow. If you do, I'm not going to castrate you, whatever. But if you want to beat the market makers, this is how to do it. That's my opinion, not financial advice. Okay, I'm done.
Can I tell you guys about a huge catalyst coming for AMC?
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to try to hook Tara up with Elon Musk as much as I can. So if we can get Tara and Elon together, you know it'll go to the moon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, are you the one who arranged that? Not date for it? Okay, it's a business only, TJ. I promise. Business only.
He's smiling. Who is this Forrest from the tree?
Elon for everyone.
Dude, I'm teasing.
You want to know the funny thing about Elon? So I was thinking about it, and I was like, why do I've always had like this. I've always have had an appreciation for Elon Musk because he doesn't seem to be like puppeteered by anybody. He's like totally a nonconformist. And as rich as he is, I mean, the richest man in the world, he still seems to be so connected with the reality of things that are going on and not like so elite that he just doesn't even understand, you know, the veracity of like how bad it's really getting. And it's interesting because I wouldn't have come to Twitter. I was thinking about this last night. I wouldn't have even come to Twitter if it wasn't for Elon Musk tweeting about GameStop. Like back in, I think it was February of last year, he tweeted about GameStop and someone shared the tweet in the Weeble comment section. And that's what made me start, you know, getting active and talking about the stock on Twitter. And actually, it was his tweet that I commented on. And that's where a lot of, you know, original OGs or whatever, that's where we all found each other on Twitter, was because of Elon Musk's tweet. And we didn't even know like this community of people existed that were speaking out against the buy button removal and the things that took place, you know, back in January of last year. So it was actually really interesting when I was sitting and pondering on it and going, why do I always feel like this, you know, incessant need to like say thank you to Elon Musk? I'm just extremely grateful because I really feel like without him, and of course without all of you guys and the people who continue to fight, you know, I wouldn't have even got on this platform. I've never liked Twitter, and now I'm super excited, you know, for the future of Twitter. So I just had to give a little backstory there. But yeah, PJ, he's all yours in that way. But I just highly respect the guy and have so much appreciation for him.
You know, the only reason I had Twitter back in 2013 was because he was talking about space flight. And I was in Alabama working on helicopters in Huntsville, the freaking birthplace of space flight, you know? And all I wanted to do was go work for SpaceX. But then me and my child's mother split up and we went separate ways, and it just wasn't going to work out for locations. So I dropped my dream of doing that. But the man is literally the most transparent dude in the world, a super billionaire, one of the richest in the world, and he's still just trying to make the world a better effing place. So when people...
Absolutely. So we can thank Elon for our relationship, Spence. That's crazy. Yes. That is crazy.
And you know what?
I see someone up here. I don't want to change the subject, but really quick, someone who I've been inviting to a space for a very long time, who's, you know, a sort of friend that I've made here, Patrick. I just wanted to say hi and thanks for coming up as a speaker. I've been begging him to come onto a space, and he'll downplay it, but he's a super genius quant, and I don't know how much detail I should give, but I'll let you do the talking. You guys can read his bio.
No, I'm just learning from you guys. I'd love to, like, you know, Tara, as everybody knows, is like this super secret genius herself. She has this ability to translate really hard stuff down to really easy stuff. And as I'm sure you guys, I feel sheepish saying it, like, you know, I leave it in my Twitter bio because I don't know, I did, but I worked for Citadel for almost 4 years, all on the quant side. And so I know a lot about what happened, and I talked a lot about it on the news for a while, trying to figure out, but people want to hear what they want to hear. And yeah, I think it's important though. I'd love to kind of pivot back to asking that. Somebody brought it up briefly, but what is the fight here? Like, there is something different with the AMC community for sure, 100%. What's the villains? What's the fight?
Do I explain it?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm looking up for it. Thank you again, Patrick, for coming up here. And
Yeah,
you guys,
thanks.
I swear to God, if you send him hate mail, you will get an immediate block by me.
It's okay.
Because-
Okay, I can take it.
I have to say it up front because there's so much passion and I understand it and I feel the same way. I mean, I created the freaking Citadel scandal hashtag. So, but I just have to say, you guys, please be respectful. It's an honor and a privilege to have someone as smart as Patrick with the experience
Now I'm
that he
scared.
has
Now I'm just
in
scared.
here. Okay, but I'm serious. You guys, just be nice. It's really cool that you're coming in here to chat with us. But anyway, Spence, you have the floor. My bad. Just want to make sure that I say that.
One thing, I thank Patrick. Thank you for being here. I think we all have a lot to learn from each other, including those that worked for Citadel. I mean, it's not like demonic. Millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have worked for Citadel. So let's all respect each other.
3 years, huh? I mean, we can learn a lot from you. So thank you so much for coming up.
Well, if you think dark pools were bad, wait till you hear about dark forests. So great, Patrick. I'm going to put up the video at the top.
Sure,
I tweeted it out. Yeah, I mean, most people have never even heard of it, but I found the video of you on the news looking so dapper, so I'm going to put that up at the top of the space so people can check you out too.
It's heavily edited.
Yeah, all that makeup looking great.
So, in a nutshell,
The AMC fight.
AMC fight. I honestly think it all started with overstocking Patrick Burns back before 2018. I think the identification of payment for order flow being used to front run the market by taking data from brokers for money was identified. And then in that, they discovered the ability to short a company down to zero. The destruction of American companies and the theft of assets by big banks and hedge funds and market makers to consolidate market share, which is all we've seen for the past 20 years, is the consolidation of market share for companies like Amazon, which Citadel is a very heavy holder in Amazon, right? So if you get rid of Sears, you get rid of Blockbuster, you get rid of Radio Shack, you can now sell all this via e-commerce, which it was going to go that way anyways. But in the fact that they made all the money by doing this in such a crooked method by front running the market and creating synthetic shares, which they then park wherever after the company goes out of business, is the reason we're so over leveraged in this market right now. I personally believe Citadel, Susquehanna, Virtue, Morgan, some others tried to naked short AMC to zero. So that kind of verifies the rumors of the Amazon buyout and why they wanted to buy MGM. It was market share consolidation through the use of naked shorting and payment for order flow, which nobody would have found out unless the GME stuff started, right? So with that, the fact that it failed, we now have hedge funds extremely over leveraged because they got stuck in the crime they were committing that may or may not even be illegal. A really important thing to note is that we've seen companies like Sears, Blockbuster, Bed Bath & Beyond run for no apparent reasons while they're almost inactive stocks. It's absolutely crazy to think that Blockbuster is out of business or Sears was out of business and their stock ran like 40% in a month. So now that they're caught, they're trying to figure out what to do. We're seeing hedge funds fall left and right. Melvin Capital, Archegos, White Square Capital in London, getting blown out. So now they've lost all this money. Their clients are out billions of dollars. And Citadel sitting here trying to act like they're not standing on an open pit fire with Ken Griffin in the news and on the Chicago Economics Forum with a pre-scripted speech and fluff questions trying to act like everything's cool. The whole market's on fire due to massively over-leveraged hedge funds who are market maker monopolies that try to put companies out of business to consolidate market shares for companies like Amazon.
Okay, so the names, and what do I know? I know some set of facts and some things that I would consider true, right? And but I also don't have the retail perspective. You know, I built models. I worked at aggregate, what are called meta models, and so to me, the market is a very large statistical model. Mm-hmm. Right now, from a Citadel perspective, there is a lot. A lot. When you're that successful as a hedge fund, you tend to. Basically, I think most of the things you're saying are true. The names are not correct, but the activity is accurate.
Yeah, and that's just my theory. You know what I'm saying? That's just the dots that I've linked together. Now, can I prove some of that? Yeah. Can I prove all of it? No.
Well, I imagine if the two of us could like Neuralink, going back to Elon, you know, simping, then this could be much faster. But so here's the thing: I talked on off with Tara because Tara first pinged me when it was like ultra drama, and at the time I was talking with Vlad simultaneously, you know, trying to clean up what was going on because it's not exactly what gets to the main media is as I'm sure everyone has noticed in this room, not the whole story, not even really the top of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. It's like a very small piece. But
it's what they want us to see.
Well, unfortunately, it is a small number of people where they all can call each other. And so that's where things get complicated. Who knew what? Who was over leveraged? I do know that Melvin was the single biggest losing day. I don't know if that's helpful for you guys, but that was the single biggest losing day for Griffin ever. Yep. So that was heads rolled. I'm glad I was not there when that went down. In terms of this community and what happens after, that's what I'm more focused on. Like, okay, so, you know, how do you win? Do you stop trading options? Well, options are kind of a superpower and they extend your ability to make decisions. Are people using order flow to cheat? Yes, probably not Citadel. Is it in your individual best interest to use options? Probably not. If you are new to this and you're gambling, you will lose your money. That's why I guess, like, what's the war? There is something valuable here in a group of people who went through something hard together, which was what AMC was. Now, what is the question?
The survival, the goal, the end game is the survival of these companies with strengthened fundamentals, which is a byproduct of us coming up against the hedge funds and market makers that were attacking these companies. So
I like that.
My biggest thing too is the political, Patrick. Our U.S. Congress allowed these companies that were forced to be shut down through government mandate, federal mandate, to be just shorted to death when they were not allowed to operate. Any other country would have come out and said, we're halting shorting on these stocks until they are allowed to operate per government guidance. It was complete fraud on the part of the U.S. government to allow the market to operate the way it did during the pandemic with forced closures.
Well, wait, though. Picture I hate that. I'm not trying to disrespect the public servants in Congress, but picture your congressman. Mm-hmm. Do you want him to have control of the button that says off on trading?
Better than Robinhood.
That you go to, like, what do I do all day right now? Like, I don't centralized exchanges. Somebody nailed it. I think it was you. Market makers and centralized exchanges are killing innovation on the planet, not just in this country. And they're wiping it out everywhere. Yep. This whole buy the spot and then, you know, take a bip here as a taker and then take a hit as a maker somewhere else across markets is really just collapsing on retail. And it's making public companies basically become consolidated, socialistic, inefficient beings.
That they tried to ruin Musk. They tried to do this to Musk. That's why everybody got caught in their short positions on Tesla in such a bad way. But the real issue is Congress should have gotten together and said, okay, well, the SEC, the regulators should have gotten together and asked Congress, hey, we have a rare situation here where companies are forced to shut down, 100-year-old American companies. We can't allow the markets to operate in this way if the government is going to declare forced mandates and forced shutdowns where companies cannot operate, because that did nothing but put the favor into the competition of AMC, which I see as Netflix, Amazon, streaming services, when AMC had to shut down and take on massive death spiral lending, which is part of that game too. These lenders come out knowing these companies are being shorted to death and offer this horrible death spiral lending that they can never get out of. And then they go bankrupt, and all of a sudden Apollo comes in and eats up all the assets. It's such a scam.
It's absolutely a scam. Sort of. I would say, I would go back to again, how can we make the situation better for the group that's here? Because what's cool, to me at least, is that a decentralized, disorganized community formed, built trust with each other, established some level of leadership, and then, made the worst day ever in a very incredible trading career by not cheating, but by organizing for what they believed in. Mm-hmm. So it was a really, to me, it represented things like the Magna Carta. It represented, Martin Luther nailing the note on the cross. And, I'm not trying to make it political or religious. My point is just organized groups of people who believe in something strongly are incredibly valuable, and they change things. So this should not die. AMC as a movement needs to stay alive. The alternative is the Jeff Bezos Amazon stock market, which I guarantee you is coming. Like, it's just, this whole system is becoming one giant automated AWS. It sucks.
So I would say on that too, I loved what you just said about how you explain the community, because that's exactly what it is. I would say the tools at our disposal are multiple theoretical ways to beat the market makers, which mine right now is my Hoyle's method. It's currently, market makers and meme stocks are attacking the highest open interest on the lowest strike prices on each stock. And for the past 2 or 3 weeks, hell, for the past 6 months, we've seen horrible price fixing to drop these stocks like AMC below high open interest on low strikes for calls. And it's bad because some of our more well-known community influencers have been pushing these crazy theories about just now, buying calls, but just now at the lower prices, hedging your position for more downside, which is crazy at this point. Maybe hedging at $70 would have worked, but hedging after we bounced $12.95 on a hard bottom doesn't make any sense. So my piece to the puzzle is basically telling people to get out of the options chain on these meme plays, because market makers are laser focused on stealing premiums from it right now. You guys can go ahead, whoever was up, PJ.
Thank you. I have a question for Patrick, if you don't mind. So I think a lot of us I came to AMC after I was teaching somebody how to engage in COVID recovery plays. And we experienced extreme volatility. And I was like, what the hell was that? And when I began to poke around, I found AMC, and it's, AMC, the community, in January of 2021. So that being said, prior to that, I began trading when I had to call a broker to place a trade. So prior to that, I had no knowledge of high frequency trading and how intricate it was. So my question to you, I have two questions to ask, is how can retail compete with high frequency trading when the algos are just completely taking over the price? And Secondly, well, maybe you can answer that first and then, or speak to that first, and I'll wait for my second question.
Yeah, sure. That's just such a cool question. So I'm just trying to see if I should say what I am. I'm trying to think about what I should say here.
Yeah, the call's recorded and live on YouTube, Patrick. So
Yeah, I know.
be careful. Don't put yourself out there too much.
So here's the thing. High frequency trading is an exotic way of saying that and I'm not trying to offend you, because I am also just like you, not at Citadel. What that means for anyone, or let's replace the word Citadel with Wall Street, access to a high-speed data connection above a T1, something in New Jersey. These kinds of trading scenarios where you're clicking a button, you lose. If there is a buy button in any of your trading environments, you are not trading, in my opinion. What you're doing is making preference changes. You prefer a certain company at a given time. But when you're trading just to trade with no fundamental, association, then it basically optimizes towards the machine. You will never beat the machine. Ultimately, it's going to win. So that's why you see all, capital, funds, et cetera, flow to quantitative models and high frequency trading. Now, high frequency trading has died off in some universes because there's just so much more to glean by providing liquidity to unhealthy markets. So when you mentioned Bed Bath & Beyond, for example, providing liquidity to these companies to try to get people to change their mind is one of the perverse incentives of the current trading market in the U.S. That perverse incentive we attempted to solve with regulation by forcing a level of brokerage, education, or by forcing accredited investor status, right, on things that are not investments in equity in the public markets, but you had to have this much net worth. But when Robinhood came out, a flood of individuals accessed an already inefficient system and sloshed liquidity around. One of the odd things about things like AMC is it starts with the letter A. It's a name brand that begins with the letter A, and it's one of the first things that you see when you're scrolling through a list and you don't know what to buy, so you buy a little of something. Algorithms, things like that, don't account for don't account for human behavior. So, how to beat the machine? One thing I really want to talk about, but let me put it this way: if you want to beat the computer, you have to get in a really good position, not a position like. So, for example, I run something called Overline. It's a decentralized. It's a vigilante strategy that it tries to solve all the crap that I saw in the original market by making a market that it's bulletproof. It's not done yet. We're still building it, but it's something that answers to the question to beat the machine. If you want to trade better, for example, I have a number of bots that scrape something called coin market cap every 5 to 15 milliseconds. And they measure the latency between the response of the coin market cap server and the search box. So it's not as hard as it sounds. There's a search box on coin market cap. When you there's a response that comes back. That response is a server somewhere loading that file. When a lot of people are typing the same thing, that server or that file has a harder time responding with that. Or it has an easier time because it becomes cached. So then my little 15 millisecond bot is in a position where I'm not trading faster than anyone else. I just know that most human beings are searching for this coin. Now, what I just said was an example of something that we did back, before, but it's an example of there are no rules being broken, but what the hell? Like, we know people are searching for something before they are finished typing it. And so then getting into position on that is an easy trade. What's not clear is that all that extra data is not touched. People go to trade and they go look at charts. Charts are evil. I have never made a trading decision on a chart. Still wouldn't. It's a joke in the quant place to look at charts, to use charting, to look at Fibonacci retracement stuff. They are traps that work in momentum markets, and that's dramatic. People love comments.
Most of our influencers on YouTube who have been making predictions from 75 down to 13 have been wrong on every bullish outbreak pattern. Because
oh my God, nice.
They know.
I mean, not nice, but yes, charts suck.
Yeah, market makers and the big players know that we're looking at this, going, oh, there's gonna be a breakout, and we're buying in, and then we get crushed.
Yep.
So, Patrick, what better way from a retail perspective? I mean, look, we all know about IX, right? A whole entire exchange designed to avoid high-frequency trading.
Yep.
So what can we do, if anything, as retail traders to attempt to get ahead somehow of the algorithms? Is there anything that we can do?
Yep. You gotta leave. That's what I did. I pitched Brad when I was supposed to do their initial GUI interface. And this is before the drama with Flash Boys. But Brad, he's brilliant, he's passionate, and he's a great business leader. His strategy is to create a unhealthier market that's more healthy for humans, right? Unfortunately, it's still stuck with the perverse model. It's stuck with the systemic problem that a centralized market has. And I hate to be the guy here who's like, oh, go to the coins. But I am, you're talking to somebody who left a very cushy quantitative, years of garden leave job to work only in coins for years, making very little, but investing in what I think is the right move here. But and I hate to even like NFTs. You guys are all fairly educated traders based on the conversations that I'm hearing, the words that I'm hearing, where when you introduce that to alternative markets where it's too small for a company like Citadel to play in, you guys can dominate. So the actual answer is you're looking for markets that people are not in. If Robinhood is serving it, it's not actually a stock market, and that was the other problem with Robinhood. Robinhood's a really inefficient clearinghouse, and that's what happened with the dark forest issue. So I do not, to leave the stock market does not mean go buy Bitcoin. It means go explore building and or trading on fully decentralized exchanges. And that doesn't mean buy any one of those coins or stay in them. It means there are things like providing liquidity for loans on high-end NFTs. Me and like 8 other Citadel guys are all doing it. But like this is badass. This is the way to do this. And because decentralized allows individuals to move faster, they're going to lose in the central. This won't, I don't know if anyone watched the T0 stock market thing, but my meanest tweet ever, which no one even cared because I don't have any followers and no one cares. I don't really care anymore. I mean, I'm like an irrelevant person, so I'm glad Tara talks to me.
That's false.
No, but the point is like nobody in the
they care. They just
land,
don't know they care, Patrick.
It's just basically everyone. Tara cares for you, but nobody else does. So that's nice. When you need someone to care, Tara will. but yeah, T0 launched to a dead floor on NASDAQ, which I thought was just ironically hilarious. Like T0 is a centralized piece of crap. And I'm sorry to, if anybody here is a big T0 fan, but I know even the platform they're using to clear, it's just rebranded to ride the decentralized wave. It's not. And it's just hilarious watching that thing launch to a floor on the stock exchange, nobody's joyful, nobody's excited. There's no fanfare here. It's like, well, here we go. It's a centralized exchange launching inside of a centralized exchange, claiming that it's a decentralized exchange. Nope. It's like I give it a 10-year clock unless they can figure out how to get it to a decentralized exchange. Now, things outside of that, in the decentralized world, the premiums and the fees are like nuts, like just amazing. You create an asset. And that's why I want Tara to do an NFT that is related. Oh, she's going to hate me. I haven't talked to her about talking about this yet. So Tara, if I'm not supposed to talk about it,
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Is that kind of a yes? What if I give him like a sample, like a?
You do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But no, I mean, it is what it is. I just don't care anymore.
Stop me what if there was a way to prove you had the AMC stock and that was the chat room barrier to entry? So it's like Tara's NFT is actually kind of like it's a proof mechanism. And that way all these fudders and, am I saying too much, Tara? Is that?
No, it's so, I mean, it can't be mine, but it could be everybody's, you know what I mean? Like, it just can't be mine. I can't be the leader. I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to be in charge of anything, but there should be something, because that is an issue that we're dealing with ongoing, is like, what are people's real, what are they really doing here? And there's so many fudders, and it's not just with AMC, it's with all kinds of different investments that people are involved in. So yeah, Patrick, keep going.
Okay, well, I see like some hands are
Hold on. I have my second question, if you don't mind, real quick. That's okay. So being in the industry, or having been in the industry under one of the largest hedge funds in the world, what do you feel about the DOJ investigation? Not saying that Citadel is part of it, but there are very many hedge funds that are engaged in this investigation at this point, over 60.
I briefly worked on Griffin's personal security team. I was kind of like I don't know really what I was. I was a quant, but I would work on other weird problems that the company had, because I like, programming stuff. That one of the mandates that sounds like bullshit, and your trigger here will be, it can't be. But I'm telling you that at least I was tricked, and I'm a very suspicious person. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Citadel's mandate is to pursue the truth no matter what, and the truth of all else is their trading advantage. And you begin that like indoctrination from day one, all the way out to like, if a single thing happens from a compliance standpoint, you are immediately axed from the company, and you don't even, like, the guy's desk is removed the next day. There's literally like a space where his desk was.
That's a good way to never pay any fines.
My question is, why then did they get hit with so many fines?
So here's the thing: why does Microsoft get a monopolistic fee from the EU? And I'm not trying to defend anything. I am sure that people are bad, but I also know that governments enjoy taxes, and there are times when there's a fee to play. I sniff something's wrong. Something's off with the litmus test, because there's enough pissed off people who feel unjust activity occurred. So that's too many people for it to not be a hunch. Someone played foul. I also know that, like Robinhood, for example, during the buy button removal, Robinhood had just started trying to clear their own orders. They had just started their own clearinghouse, but they've quickly covered, that's now erased in the histories of the internet. But Robinhood had its own clearinghouse. That clearinghouse was a joke, and Citadel was happy to provide to it, but their rates were totally inaccurate, much like Robinhood's charting, Robinhood's pricing, Robinhood's margin estimates. And one of the problems with that is, Silicon Valley, flush with capital, saw this retail trader opportunity due to the regulatory environment, and so poured too much too fast into the Robinhood thing. But to answer the DOJ is not the end-all version of truth. The end-all version of truth is what you, the individual, can find out online about what happened. Like counting on the DOJ to a smoking gun is very unlikely, if not, it also would be historically unlikely. Like there are still lots of times in American history that arguably American history is considered one of the most transparent from an archival standpoint, that it was just not really told to Americans what happened. And so that is in the best interest of either American policy or stability. We leave up, render under Caesar's what is Caesar's. In this case, policy is in the hands of some people who have been democratically elected, and they are making decisions with that. Individuals in the DOJ were appointed there, and they are making decisions. Let's see how well those decisions are made.
Thank you, Patrick.
Of course.
Oh, you were ex-PayPal?
I was.
That's interesting. Is that why the Musk? I don't know. I don't actually know how much he had to do with it at the time, but
he did not at the time. It had already been exited by eBay. I was part of the transition from Magento to PayPal to eBay.
That's cool. I remember, as a graduating class of 03, I remember the internet becoming a thing and website development and seeing PayPal pop up and eBay pop up. And I sit here and think, man, if my parents would have had any collective knowledge, even 10% of what I know today about the market back then, we'd be multi-billionaires ourselves. So I think it's great that everybody's in here, and thank you for coming in and explaining your side and parts of the market we might not understand. It's educational.
Well, no, I would not give you that much credit at all. I would more say, now that you have this knowledge, keep in mind there's only 4.8 billion people on the internet. Mm-hmm. There's a total of 311 the last time I saw that actually have traded anything at all ever in their entire interaction with the internet, even down to an online transaction of any monetary value. So what you know right now and the market that you're playing in is the market dominated by decades of Wall Street optimization. Yep. What's happening in the decentralized world is not one new decentralized market or 5 new, but for example, the same thing with this NFT lending and loaning market with liquidity pools.
That's crazy.
But it is crazy. It's crazy, and people might lose everything. It's a market model that nobody in any brokerage book can really put a finger on as to what it can do. How do you price in a quote blue chip NFT? And then what that actually means for everyone in this call is, hey, there's inefficiencies here. If you're a good trader, look around. And you just kind of, you go in and use the skill that you have now. You guys might think that most people know what options are. Most people know what a strike price is. That is not true. Like 99% of people do not have 99% of the planet does not know what that even means. So there's a, I'm not trying to say, go use your powers for evil. I'm trying to say, okay, it would be cool if we could prove who here actually owned AMC. Like, full transparency, I do not. Not because I don't like them or don't like them. I just don't have any stocks because I don't want to compete in that game. But I would own AMC if I had a Terra branded token that proved that I owned it, that let me go into a chat room. Now I'm talking to the real crowd, not the fudders. And here's what's weird. In this call right now, at this moment, there are people who are like, oh shit, I'm just going to buy one of those shares because they've been pretending this time that they owned it. And I'm not saying that but that's here, that's in this room. Let's cut out the weakness. And then you have a team that the world doesn't even know what to do with. Like, it's like, well, here's a group of people who believe that AMC is being suppressed. Is it? Yes, of course it is. Like, is it being rigged? Yes, obviously. Like, okay, well, now that we know that, once you are on a team, you need a flag. Like, step one to being your own thing is you need a flag. And the best king or queen is the one who doesn't want to be it. So now that goes back to Tara. She doesn't want to lead it, but I keep arguing this is your thing to kind of kick off, and it doesn't have to be called like TerraCoin or whatever. That's just stupid.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, we could call it Spend Terra then coin. Spend Terra then coin.
That's a terrible idea. Oh my gosh. Really quick, I have a question that someone sent to me in my DMs, and you don't have to answer. Obviously, you're not required to answer, but I kind of wanted to ask it myself too. I know that you know Dave Lauer, through Citadel and stuff like that. I was just curious what, the difference with what you're working on with Overline and what he's got going on. If you want to answer, if not, I fully understand. So that's what someone asked me. Patrick.
Is this Dave Lauer like publish.com or?
Dave Lauer, the other ex-Citadel. You don't know Dave? The Citadel guy who, you do. I think you're just drawing a blank. Urban Terminal is his thing that he's been working on to try to better markets.
I think that's another finance vigilante you've been talking to, not this one, but I like...
Not talking to so much, no.
No, that's okay. We need to get all the vigilantes together, and then let's go try it one more time.
You used to be a Citadel employee, and you don't know who Dave Lauer is?
That's correct.
He's the Citadel employee who literally basically ripped the covers off of this entire thing. Dave Lauer is the one.
That's not true. That's what we did. Dave Lauer came in way late, but I don't want to get into semantics here. But I don't know if you understand how big Citadel really is. So to come up with that kind of, attitude as though he should know every employee that he worked with at a company of that, size and stature is absolutely ridiculous.
So anyway, here's a cool example of like how well Citadel prevents you from doing. Sorry, so someone else brought up earlier something that we can correct right now, and I can just say like definitively, I never saw it. I'm happy to testify. I never saw it. Like there is a aisle, a separation between the buy side and the sell side that is ridiculously well enforced at Citadel. It's frowned upon to even be like seen with guys outside of work at any time, even if you're on a run club team on the sell side versus the buy side. And so there are guys like this where I don't know. Before about explaining order flows like this super sneaky thing, it's just weird because it's not exactly what it's not really what it's not. It's basically like saying there's the dark forest thing. Yeah, dark strategy is based on randomization of based on colors on a chart. Actually, if you really, the more colors that a human being sees on a chart, the more likely they're to make a decision. This is one of the models you can use. Green, lots of green. Red, lots of red. Human being will make decision. A dark forest is it's an association to dream interpretation, but it is a reference to like random forests and iterative forests, where the iterations that are necessary to make a decision are a function of the cost of education of the individual. A chart being a bunch of green makes you make a decision, which is why you feel like something was sneaky here. Buying order flow is how you rebalance like margin positions and clearinghouses. Is there a lack of transparency in how clearinghouses conduct business? 1,000,000%. And so the dark forest premise is, well, if we run an algorithm that does not allow us to see what human beings see, which is this green chart, we do not trade on it. It's just one of the things that it's like a quant do good, not do good thing. So order flow, buying order flow and then making trading decisions is a red herring. It's not the sneakiness that was going on. If it was, that's direct, that's jail time for sure for a lot of people, and it would also mean that they were. It's dumb actually. I mean, if you think about it, like really, we have a system where a bunch of guys get to take a look at the trades first. They decide if they want to clear it. They then front run you. Like, no, that's not how clearing model works. Now, what's dark about the situation is that I am not sure if, for example, you just heard, for those of you who were at the start of the call, I brought up the idea of like measuring the latency of search terms in the response of a server. So the server is responding with like 15 millisecond delay. Then with a lot of people searching for the same thing, that delay might increase to 33 milliseconds. Now we know that a trend has occurred on the stock, and we know that whatever direction the stock is moving, it's likely to move more that direction. That is an example of, okay, that's a piece of data that's leaking from the scenario that I'm now making advantageous decisions on. There's a ridiculous amount of data that leaks from order flow scenarios, like the fact that Robinhood didn't have enough money to clear their books. Because Robinhood didn't, Citadel has to readjust its risk. It has to readjust an algorithm that protects itself from situations like this, where orders do not match buyers. When that occurs, it's a ripple effect that you're looking for consequences. Like, hey, if a lot of people search for this, that server gets slower. So, in the order flow model, if a lot of people are clearing up the available stocks, and now you have people hitting the book saying, I need 700 million, I need 2 billion, a pure stock with no main market makers, then you're throwing a bunch of red flags, but you're attracting predators, the really big day trading type guys, and they're out there. Those guys don't want you to know who they are. If you guys are interested, an example of them is 5 Hands. If you Google that, you'll find a long story about a very interesting high-powered trader. Okay, so let's go back to, anyway, Dave Lauer sounds like a cool guy. Order flow is not as sneaky as you think it is, but there are probably consequences from it. Looks like he's trying to do something cool. I don't know him. That's an example of me not knowing buy side, sell side.
Thank you for answering, Patrick, and I appreciate it. And just to kind of reiterate, because that person who came up so disrespectfully, that's something that we've been dealing with all along here. And I remember very, very well back in August when I first found out about you through a video clip where you mentioned dark forest, and I was super intrigued. I had reached out to you and I tweeted about it. And unfortunately, this, entity, this crowd of people that has been working against me tooth and nail, they got my other account shut down. When dark pools even came up, I had calls from people in New York that I didn't even know who they were, telling me that, I needed to shut my mouth and not talk about it and stuff like this, and get them in touch with Trey, and he couldn't go forward with talking about dark pools. It needed to, be under the radar, whatever. So I know that this is some serious stuff, but those same, forces or whatever you want to call them are the people who've been working against me. When I initially reached out to Patrick to try to get him to come onto a space like this, I mean, we would have had probably 2,000 plus people in there at the time, because the, sentiment around all of this was just so massive. It would have been a huge thing to have, information coming directly from you. This group of people reached out to Patrick and, told him a bunch of stuff about me and why he shouldn't talk to me and stuff like that. And so, unfortunately, those people now are gone. Like, they're not even around anymore, but that's why Patrick's idea resonates with me, but at the same time, it feels too, like centralized, Patrick, to have some sort of proof system like that would, basically say you are a shareholder, you are allowed to, be a part of the convo. If you're not, you can listen, you can be a part of like learning and whatever. And if you decide to be, then so be it. But it resonates, but at the same time, I don't fully understand or know how it would work. And I definitely never want to feel, or anyone to feel like this is like a closed off group or like we're some kind of, AMC maxis. Like, I just cannot stand that about like the Bitcoin maxis, the GME elitists, these people who feel like we were here first and we don't need you. Like, no, actually, the more investors you have, the better in any asset in the market. So having like this idea that you're a gatekeeper because you were there first is just bizarre and super weird. And that's why I don't want to ever feel like I'm leading some sort of brigade or like, going down that path. It's just not, I've always felt like inclusivity is of the utmost importance. That's why people have gotten so angry with me when I've been willing to hear people like you out, Patrick, Mark Cajotes, other people who are controversial, but at the same time bring a wealth of information, a ton of knowledge. They actually have, the hands-on experience in the markets, behind the scenes. And to me, it's more important to not cover your eyes and blind yourself and say, I don't want to know, ignorance is bliss. If you don't want to know, you don't have to know. You don't have to come to this space. You don't have to listen. You can block, you can move on with your life, carry on. But for those who do want to know, and for those who seek knowledge like myself, it's important to have a means to do so. And if people don't even know, there are people, like Patrick said, there are a majority of people on this planet don't even know what options are. There majority of people don't even know about this movement and don't even know about AMC. So I never want it to be like some kind of closed off club where you have to own it to be in it. Well, a lot of people might not even know about it or know what our passions are, why we're even here fighting and spending our time doing what we're doing. So that's why I have always done things sort of like publicly in the public eye and welcomed anybody, whether they had no followers, just created their account. I've welcomed them because for me personally, I'm so convicted in this play and in this movement that no one is going to change my mind. No one is going to step up here, voice to voice with me, whatever, in my DMs and change my mind. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And yeah, I can see
Tara, you're cutting out.
But anyway, I just kind of wanted to. What's that?
Oh, you were cutting out a little bit. You're okay now.
Oh.
Well, here's something important.
I just kind of wanted to reiterate those things because it's something that I've been fighting against for a long time.
Here's something important is just from this conversation, somebody sent me a DM from a user at 22FamilyOffice1 saying the newest LARPer to show up in the ape spaces. Dude was a Citadel quant working on Ken Griffin's personal security. He and Terrible looking to take what little money the apes have left. A scheme for a Terra NFT that admits you to spaces or rooms. AMC #DumbApes. They're literally a Chinese-based, or not a Chinese-based, an American-based Chinese-owned family office. How much more shilly do you have to get that you're the opposing hedge fund posting a tweet from an account that has a Japanese like mascot character as the profile photo, and people believe it? People believe.
Okay. So you guys want to have some interesting reading? Go Google our effort to buy Forbes last year, because that whole side of who controls your media is linked. It's right now. Mankind does not know they are in 100% an information war, and I would argue we're probably losing that war. People like Elon are doing a great job to try to fight back. But if you look at his investors, that's not the guys you want, handing you ammo when you ask for it. Like, those are the guys you don't want right behind you on the front lines. But anyway, Tara, so to go back to
Don't be the guy stabbing you in the back.
I know, yeah. Popper.
You're,
Great.
Patrick, you're 100% right. And this is something I warned Patrick would happen, once he kind of stepped out of the shadows and came forward and did decide to have a discussion, is that there unfortunately is a whole army of people fighting against me specifically and all of us for obvious reasons. So, I mean, some of it is just sheer paranoia, but some of it is very deep-seated. There's nefarious things going on there. But I did warn Patrick a long time ago and told you, there's an extreme level of hate toward us for sharing our voices and allowing people like you a space to do so as well.
Well, thank you. Okay, so lots of questions.
Yeah, we do have a lot of hands up here. How about we go with Swing, Yer, and then PJ, and then Matt. Oh, looks like Matt might have dropped. What's Swing?
Hi, Patrick. Thanks so much for your input. I guess the question that I have is that given Coinbase getting involved in NFTs, to me that sounds exactly like essentially Robinhood getting involved in any markets, and anything that they're involved in is probably something that you don't want to be involved in. I realized it wasn't that successful, and that I think they had 150 signups, or maybe it was 1,500. It wasn't a huge amount of people signing up for it, so maybe it won't be a big issue. But I guess you're kind of what you were sharing about liquidity pools and opportunities for something ahead of other bad players getting involved. I mean, what is your thoughts on someone like Coinbase getting involved in that? And, I know that GameStop is building some sort of NFT marketplace as well. Hopefully not to be a nefarious actor, but, thoughts on that?
It's great. And it's a great question. It's also a prescient question for anyone here, which goes back to there's two things happening. One, there are opportunities to make money. And two, there is a philosophical alignment with the community. People who are philosophically aligned with this, people like Tara, are not focusing on the money, but as a community, it's a metric for success. So I would say if you go to this, you mess around with NFTs and then you've lost an enormous amount of your capital, and now you're sitting there like, was that useful? Well, the first question is, did you learn something? And if you didn't learn anything, which, I'd argue NFTs are entirely an account. They are not a tradable thing. They're actually an upgraded version of what an account is. They should be free. I don't know why. I think NFTs should entirely be based on how early you came to something to allow you to influence that thing's creation. But they should not be something that you try to take from people. And that's why I think what really confuses people about the NFT community is they don't care about selling it. So it's not that an ape costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's that someone does not believe that getting rid of their ape is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's an emotional affinity and there's something happening here that's very different from ownership. Something that is kind of happening with AMC in this community, but it hasn't taken the same strength as a personal association, because people look at the ape and they say, that is me online. Now, it's a weird thing to say, but that, as far as I can tell, seems to be what it is. If you look at NFT markets where Brian is out to win it all. Brian, I was around when Brian and Fred split, and it was a drama in the space because Fred Ursham is awesome. Fred is a super brilliant, prescient thinker, and he's probably what it would have been like talking to an oracle back in Greece. The guy can talk 30 years ahead. He has no ego, he's awesome. Fred's cool. Brian is like the anti-Fred. Very smart, very interested in ruling the earth. So you just got to watch for those kinds of players. They're good. It's just stop trying to do that. I don't know what that instinct is, but it just... Anyway, so I am not surprised their NFT market didn't do well because they don't understand that NFTs are not currently the trade. NFTs are currently an account, and that's what Other Side understands so well, what Yuga Labs understands so well, and why all of these digital lands are actually just showrooms for the things that you have, because NFTs are a way to store that and then ultimately authenticate it. So then that goes back to like DM with like, oh, they're trying to take more money or something. And one, we're not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to help the scenario. We're building Overline. That's what we're doing all the time. But this side thing of like, hey, we could do an accredited chat room is so that I can get rid of the noise, because I do want to know who owns this much of a certain stock, and I'd like to talk to them. And I would like that personally. I think that's very useful. But if you zoom all the way back to like, are coins a profit mechanism? Sure, but a coin is not an account. And because I cannot say, ooh, that AMC share is the digital representation of me, there's a huge community superpower or community strength in associating it. And so that's why people who own this stuff, they watch their doodles and their cool help, and they don't give a shit. They don't even change their PFP. They're like, yeah, but this is me. I'm this cat with sunglasses or whatever.
That's what Adam Aaron should have done with the I Own AMC NFT, which was I was hoping what he was gonna do, but
which Tara, I don't know how but Tara told me this whole she's got some killer ideas. So we had this. I agree, Adam. You messed up.
They're not my ideas. I can't take credit. It's honestly just the time I've spent here with brilliant people who have come to me, and I'm honored that people come to me. But sometimes I'm not always up for the backlash that comes with it. But yeah, I mean, just like you, Patrick, I reached out to you initially, but like the fact that you've, come to me and shared quite a bit of information that, I feel like we're lucky enough to have you here sharing as well. So I really appreciate you coming in here. I'm going to have to it's totally expected. Otherwise, I would plan on, being able to stay longer. But hopefully, we can get through a couple more questions. I have like 15 minutes.
Nice. Everyone she does actually have great ideas. That was just like a humble thing on her side. Nieto? Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, as you can see, I have a NFT PFP, but basically the whole thing is I do resonate with what you're saying when it comes to NFTs and the NFT community. Like, to even get into the Discord, like specific channels, like just to chat, you have to like verify that you are a holder of an NFT, and you can actually even vote to like what charities y'all want to vote, because there is like roadmaps say this percentage of money will go to charities. So yes, I'm very for making this, but I don't know if it's even going to come from AMC, and if it doesn't, because I know, well, in general, at least 90% of retail owns AMC shares based on the last, Q4 of 2021. And so I know AMC has the share to verify shares, the computer share, which we're still we don't really trust, but I believe we can trust something like an NFT of AMC where, heard about it.
No, I wouldn't trust it either. It's pretty much entirely based on, we're talking about an idea.
Down a piece of popcorn.
I liked how Tara brought it up before. There should be no, people in control, centralized over the ability of whatever this system is to audit the ownership of a share. I had proposed when she was asking, like, how would you do this when we were talking a couple of months ago, it's just a really cool question. Like, I had to think about it, how would you do what she was asking to have done? And it's like the first step is you would do waves where if you signed in with your brokerage like Public, Robinhood, E-Trade, or eToro, Fidelity has an open branch where you can actually securely sign in, qualify that they have the stock, and then do a second sign in 60 days later and qualify the identification based on the ID to see that they held it. And then what you'd basically be issuing is this person held that stock for 60 days. It's a really cool premise because you'd suddenly have this positive sentiment around the stock, because in order for you to get this, you have to be able to sign in. And if it isn't there at the end of 60 days when you go to claim, you do not get your shiny AMC thing. Any of the smart exchanges will want these users because they're all just fighting to get your fees, right? Which sucks. What they really want is for you to be indecisive. They want you to trade your thing. They don't want you to buy it. They want you to trade it. They want you to forget about it, then buy it later, then buy it again, because that's giving you a fee every time. The idea of associating ownership to communication will quickly attract people just to see the experiment side of it. Like, oh, interesting. If I held one share, and see it. But I also think that might have positive, community network effects.
Yeah, and I wanted to add that on top of that. I think as a from the developer side, because I am a Web 2, Web 3 developer, I believe maybe the easiest thing would be to kind of go based on plat. That's what I've seen most Web 2 use to verify that you own the actual shares, and then from there on, I guess, try to port that data over to Web 3 if you were to mint an NFT or so on. But yeah, that's just my Web 2, Web 3 brain.
Well, can you imagine what would happen? And this will happen. So what would happen, as in, like, I don't know if it'll be us who does it, but it's inevitable for anybody who's already in the Web3 space. This is the obvious way where stocks are going to be managed this way. But imagine a company who did have bad reporting of how many shares were in the market. Do you think they'd want to convert themselves onto a transparent ledger? No. And so there's also an interesting for the transparent companies who deserve to have their day in the sun. They will be happy to participate in authentication programs like this. It's not that hard to do it. You're supposed to have a writ of ownership that traces at least the clearinghouse associated with storing the stock or the equitable widget on file as a company. You're supposed to be able to access that. Now, many companies do not, and they proxy out those services. I'd love to see those proxies show me those books, but that's another thing. That's where I could see T0 kind of coming in to save the day if it would help old stock market style companies become new Web3 companies. But I think in the early days, the first way to do this is something fun, simple, and look, if you trade on some of these popular places, you hold the stock for 60 days, you can go into this chat room. You'll have to refresh the token status, so automatically it won't even be what's called an ERC 721. It'll be something more akin to an ERC 11 in the 1100 class. That's because it'll have an expiration component. So you'll be able to talk in the chat room, but if you don't renew again, the token will actually destroy itself. It won't work anymore.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I don't know what would be the best way, because I know in the Web3 NFT community, like, it's all about transparency. So if anyone let's say I and Jay Brett wanted to make our own NFT just to do this, just for AMC, and I guess later on open it up to other companies, like, we were going to have to be transparent about, like, who we are, what basically put it, even our smart contract on the blockchain so everyone is able to see it, so they can decompile it and see the parameters that's in it. But like, I don't know what would be the best way to go. Like, let a business like AMC or an institution, or I guess just retail, like I was saying, just me and Jay Brett do it and kind of expose ourselves. And
for now, I would try to think smaller. I try to think in terms of 10 people. I'd like to talk to 10 people who said, hey, look, let's all just build our own little, this is not hard, technologically speaking, little tiny chat room that checks whether or not you signed into your broker and actually own that stock. That's it. it can be built in a way where all of the authentication side is done basically like single sign-on. So you would sign in with your Robinhood, and when you did that, it can confirm what stocks you have. And that's already possible now. Robinhood doesn't want you to use the API in this way, so I'd be curious to see what Vlad does if this gained any popularity. But in the meantime, we'd have this interesting experiment of like, hey, here are people who really do own it. And that is the token that represents that ownership. We wouldn't charge anything for it. It's just like, if you want to do it, just go through the single sign-on page and you'll get your token. And then you have to sit there for 60 days and then you can come in the chat room. And can you imagine what different conversation would be in there versus, out here in the scary, scary Twitter spaces that Tara bravely braves? Okay, play question. If you had a question, then I think if you got to jump.
I do. Was that me, PJ?
Yeah.
PJ,
Okay.
sorry.
I wasn't sure. So someone emailed me, direct messaged me, and asked me to ask you this. And I don't know if you should, if you can, or know anything about it. But anyway, he wants to know, we have been told by AMC's CEO that there is a 90% ownership of float by retail and another 30% ownership institutionally. How is this possible?
AMC is a 100-year-old brand. That was part of the valuation that gave Forbes its own valuation, being a 100-year-old brand. So all of us were born in a time when that brand existed. That has enormous value. Then from a retail perspective, I think that's why everyone here is so frustrated. It's my opinion that AMC, were it to effectively become a Web3 company, it's a contender to companies like Amazon, because of its prevalence nationwide and then its ability to syndicate its own content. So things like, hey, we have a giant screen that everyone pays attention to once or twice a month. That's a huge deal. And it's an incredible competitive advantage that, right, Netflix and the Silicon Valley VC crew spend billions to finance the debut to try to get you to look at their screen or their version of a screen, which is really what Netflix is. So to answer that question, it's absolutely a truthful statement. What's sinister about that statement is it does not give you a clear picture of who has liens out on their equity. And unfortunately, that is also a not very transparent part of the market. We're like, how does Elon buy Twitter when he also, lives like Elon does? Like, where does that money come from? And so he's getting these incredible loans from Tesla Co. And these loans are given in a way that incorporates the value of the shares of the stock. And I'm not saying that Sinister is always in the market based on who's making money. So you can basically always guess if somebody made an enormous amount of money in this whole game, I would start the investigation there just because that's probably where something might have occurred. But in terms of like Sinister, a lot of people own a share or two of AMC. A lot of people own credits that might have a strike price that occurs at a later point, or they might have a lien on it, which, they've taken out debt on debt, and that, so it's not giving a clear picture of who really is in control of something. Technically, you don't own the share inside of your Robinhood app. You own a promissory note to it. You don't really have it. And so it's a weird claim. It's hard to measure it. It's a good claim in that it says, hey, people like our stock, what gives? And I totally agree. People do like the stock, but the business itself is also managed in a weird way. So, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question particularly, but
I mean, it does. It gives it an absolute different. It puts a different light on the statement. Absolutely. So I thank you for.
It should show you like, wow, AMC. Everyone knows what it is, and it has an enormous share in something that no one knows how to value right now, which is the attention economy. So it owns a percentage in this universe of we know what it is and we watch it. And because of that, it has this valuation that I actually think it's a significantly undervalued asset.
Yeah, I think we all do, which is why we're here. And it's just how do we kind of, move forward. I think that the blockchain and Web3, I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's way down the road. How do we move forward now as a community pushing for fairness and transparency in the market while we attempt to get fair value for the trade?
I mean, think about it. Our goal, we're in a public space that anyone can step in and step out. If the media or anybody would get a hold of like, hey, we're going to airdrop a free token that proves you own AMC, then the whole thing goes nuts. That's just nuts. So we need to keep this kind of amongst ourselves for now, test it out, explore ideas, because it's just like the early days where they said, remember Satoshi left right after the WikiLeaks thing, saying that like, look, we're too small to take on this kind of attention. Right now, if it was to get out that, hey, we're going to do a private room, a free thing, it's led by, Terra, who's going to rule the entire internet. I'm kidding. But we're
oh my God. You want them to just like nail me to a cross? I don't even know.
Everybody needs a leader. They need a leader.
No, it ain't me. I promise I'm not a leader. I'm not leading anything. I'm a follower. I'll follow everyone here. No, I'm just playing. Thank you, Patrick. You're going to get me in so much trouble. I can just feel the world of hurt. It's about to happen.
Oh, I was like, the witch hunts are going to start at Salem all over again. Tara is the Scarlet Witch. That's what'll happen this week.
It's already happening.
But as a community, we can stick up for. That's a thing.
This week the community is going to be like, Tara got a hold of the Darkhold and she's going to crush the multiverse. That's what it's going to be this week.
Well, I do like that.
Accounts with
I love it.
Title.
I love it.
Yeah, you love it. You don't have to.
You guys have heard, yeah, but aren't I the dark side? Tara brought in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the dark side. Scary Patrick.
You're getting
what happens when they find out? What happens when they find out that the dark side is actually the light side? I don't know. We'll see. In I don't even know the days of our life.
So
anyway, Patrick, I appreciate it so much. You're such a wealth of information.
Yes, thank you so much.
No problem.
If Adam Aaron created the outstanding in the form of a cryptocurrency, an AMC crypto with the issued shares, legally issued shares, and get one crypto per share out as a dividend, then you would have your one crypto, just like you were saying, an NFT, and then you could say, here's my crypto.
So, fun fact for anybody who wants to try something like that, we tried to do that with the Forbes SPAC. We tried to airdrop a coin to a SPAC because of the warrant. A warrant on a SPAC note has no definition. There's a voting weight to it, but it can be anything. You can actually include a basket of apples with a warrant in a SPAC. It's just a fun. If anyone wants to try it, I want to try that. But Adam, who knows? The poor guy has to run a company with a lot of people who really, really like it, and then he's up against bloodthirsty killers who've got a lot of money to lose. So it's tough. Anyway, I do have to jump, and I think but anyway, thanks for talking to me or hearing me out, and I'd love to talk to you guys later.
Thank you for coming in, Patrick. Very, very good stuff. Very good quality conversation.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
I'm so entertained. I'm literally eating popcorn watching this right now.
Nice.
Real quick though, so you basically are saying
Thank you, Patrick. Honestly,
additional float.
Oh, we might
sorry,
have a
my
little
bad,
delay
guys. I think I
there.
have a delay.
What was that? I think Matt said something. He wanted to say something.
Did he drop?
It looks like it, yeah.
Matt, we lost you. All right, I have to jump. But see you guys.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much, Patrick. You guys, I gotta go to Wish Me Luck Bowling. I hope I don't break a nail. All right, talk to you all later.
Bye, Tara. Have fun.
Have a good night, Tara.
All right, guys, thank you. That Patrick, man, he was a wealth of knowledge, that guy. I'm being in Citadel. I actually had questions from, but he left, but that's okay. You know, maybe next time.
Well, do you hear how he explained, he defined the ape community as like Martin Luther King nailing the message to the cross and whatever else he said? That's the analogies he used. I mean, we're literally reshaping the stock market right now. This movement has taken down multi-billion-dollar hedge funds, and anybody who says otherwise is a fool.
So, I have a question from our German friends. I have some of the people, those who are in AMC here, and you know they never come up and speak. But sometimes their questions are very blunt, and like because one, they are just as pissed, probably more pissed than us, with what the market's going on, and there are two very blunt questions. And the one is with the dividend thing. Do we have to pay off the debt? That's the only way we can issue the dividend. And is there any way, because they're saying the second question is the government, your US government or your SEC is not going to help the community. And AMC and AMC board people, can they help us? That's the second question. So that's two questions I had for what's his name? Patrick. He left. Well, so I don't know if.
Let me just shout out to our German friends. Hallo, mein deutschen Freund. I'm sorry if my accent's bad, but I love Germany, man. I spent some time there. I got wasted in Frankfurt and ended up in Italy on a train overnight.
Oh my god. That must be good beer, huh?
It was, man, St. Pauli Augustiner, so good, man. We got absolutely just crushed.
So I don't know if you can answer those cool questions, because I don't know if we have to pay off the debt. That's the only way we can get the dividend can be issued.
As far as I know, Silver Lake has a 2026 note that has a restrictive debt covenant, dividend covenant, right? So that's why I'm pushing Adam Aaron. If they, excuse me, popcorn. If they issue a dividend and break that covenant, there's all kinds of penalties on that debt, right? So that's why I'm telling, and Adam Aaron tweeted about it. I'm asking Adam Aaron to sell the community an NFT, because in this, you create an NFT and it has utility for certain gift drops randomly to a select number of owners year by year. But in that, you sell as many NFTs as you want through the year to your investment community or anyone else, which creates an endless revenue stream and rejects the need for share offerings and dilution. Because now you can do capital raises just by selling a product that costs you next to nothing to mint. It's all about investor loyalty, which they have.
So I'm gonna jump into this again, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. I really think Adam Aaron can't do anything that would directly or indirectly, interact with the investors and kind of get a share recall or generate revenue. He can only kind of like at a distance, because it's obvious that if the dark pools are under investigation, he can't do anything until that's taken care of. So I think he's kind of hands off. He's just showing his face, but. Even if we're spending money, I think it's great going to the movies and stuff like that. But at this point, if we're really trying to fix the market and get AMC out of debt,
sorry,
and if we can't coordinate, why are we not? I feel like we have to push HYMC on almost every retail investor who really wants AMC to do well. And I know we can't technically, but that's got to be the easiest way.
Come on, kitchen and bathroom or whole apartment?
So that again doesn't answer that question. He's asking me about the same thing. I don't know, man. His question was simple. Can we pay the debt off and issue a dividend? Yes or no?
But what I'm saying is they'll generate money. Like if HYMC were to squeeze and we can get behind that, they would have enough money to pay off their debt. That's why he's saying he's going on the offensive when he put that out there. I don't think him coming up with other strategies through his business to pay up the debt is something that he can technically drive us or tell us, hey, this is what you can do. He's kind of saying, look, this is an asset on our books. If we want to increase our net worth, if this asset grows, it's small enough, it's easy enough for the retail investors to jump in on and buy little by little very quickly. And then all of a sudden our balance sheet is noticeably higher.
My dog's actually not mean, but if you knock on my door with bad intent, you're going to hear him, that's for sure.
Man, what a good call, man. You guys put today, man. Spence, Jen, PJ, all you guys. Thanks to Tara for coming. You know, this is awesome. We need to start making noise like good old days. You know, like everyone, because things get done when there's a lot of noise happening. You know.
Look at how much attacks we've had just this week from No Options May trending on Twitter. No Options May is trending on Twitter with a number value below it, you guys. That's
we're making a lot of noise. So it's awesome. Celebrate. It's great.
Yeah, I'm glad that I know you've been saying this from the beginning since I joined your calls. Like there is one thing that we know that these people are the ones, those who are writing these options. They are the ones, those who are taking our money, and we are still giving them money and options. I mean, just like today, look, what they did. What else you need to know?
I'll tell you today. I said it was going to drop below 150. It did this morning. What I think happened is everybody was so prepared to buy that dip, it created enough upward pressure to keep it above $150. And in that, there wasn't enough people buying into the weekly call options at the 150 strike. So they had to let it go above. It worked. I mean, it's some people can comment and, oh, you're wrong, and that's not what it is. And then I look at common sense shit, man. It worked. We did it. I identified 2 to 3 weeks of price targets for dip buys and highs, and it was 100% accurate. So the only downside to this is if there's a major catalyst or if a whale jumps in. But either way, if you own the shares, you're going to profit. It's better than having a 90% chance of losing your premium every week. What's up,
I just want to jump in and say, I agree. The options have always seemed the problem to me because I'm in Canada, and in the Canadian market, dark pools don't exist in the way for, specifically stocks on the TSX. We don't have the same problems. There are you can short things, but only when they're going up, like the old rule used to be in the States. And if you look at the last, 2 decades, even a decade, especially, the TSX has outperformed everything else in the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, for consistently. And it seems like, options are the issue, and playing the options game, the very issue that very thing is that caused this problem in the first place, makes no sense.
Yep. It just, the more I look at it, the more I evolve the Hoyle's method. It's going to work until market makers figure out that retail is telling the weekly options chain to go fuck itself. Then they're going to change their strategy. But in that, we're taking one more tool of liquidity generation away from them, which now, in my theory, it looks like next week's going to be a pretty mundane week. But the week of May 20th, there is massive call options out to $20 on AMC, but anything below that is pretty insignificant. Same with Highcroft with a $2.50 strike. There's a ton on that, but everything below it is insignificant. So the market makers realized, hey, they're not buying these weekly low-priced call options that we're ripping their eyes out on. Let's hang some bait out there at 40% or 30% run and try to get them to buy into it. And if nobody does, we're going to freaking roll, dude.
Yeah. Well, there's also, I mean, we got to look at Monday as possible too with the earnings call, although it may not be great earnings report. It can still generate hype. And
well, that's the theory, is if there's a whale purchase or some insane catalyst, you're gonna, okay, well, if I would have put that call, I would have made a bunch of money. Well, if you own the stock, you're gonna make money anyways. But it's more safe. You're not gambling.
No. Well, that's why I chose my brokerage in Canada, is they specifically don't lend out shares. Everything's registered in your name. That means no options, not even a choice to enter the options market. But
yeah,
I don't really care about that.
It's a giant cesspool of shit, dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it needs redoing. Well, that's why I'm helping out. I'm gonna jump on board and help make some fucking changes, because fortunately, Canadian market tends to fall. Well, everything follows the U.S. market. Right. It's the world's biggest fucking market. So, I mean, that's why this is kind of an international movement, because we're all affected by it. Regardless of where we live, is the world's economy relies on the reserve currency of the U.S. dollar, and if it tanks, we're all fucked.
Yep, I agree with you, and that's probably the best way I've heard it put in a while. Is that the issue is like Germany, UK, Australia, Canada have banned payment for order flow, right? Well, if the US still gets to use it, that just makes a less competitive market. The US needs to ban payment for order flow immediately. And anybody in the political spectrum that disagrees with that needs to be brought up on criminal charges.
Well, because they're in the pockets. They're making money.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who is for it has got to be making money in the back end through it.
Welcome.
So, and I also want to say one more potential catalyst for Highcroft I've seen, because I've been doing a lot of DD on like Sprott, is his recently announced gold EFT, gold-backed EFT. I've been digging into it a bit, and potentially really good if Highcroft gets approved as a ESG mine.
Yes.
Which would essentially mean every ounce of gold out of the mine will be 100% bought and sold for the future, and going into that, it will be minted at Sprott's Mint and put into the fund. So,
Thank you. I've been trying to tell people this about the new EFT coming up for the past 2 weeks. And the problem with the community right now is if it's not something that's flashy and exciting, they just kind of brush it off. But the way you just worded it was phenomenal.
Hey, Spence, I just threw up that tweet that I posted on 4/7/22 talking about that, and just kind of give somebody a visual of it.
Well, you guys rock, man. And what's your name? Malcolm Duck. Kick you a follow, man. I love what you're saying about everything.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, if you're on the Highcroft subreddit, you've probably seen some of my stuff in there anyway.
The one with the actual logo?
Yeah,
I am on there, dude. I love that subreddit.
Yeah, I posted some Sprott DD a few days back, and it was pretty extensive.
What do you think of Silver
the more I read, the more confident I am, man. And the fact that, another catalyst for Monday I forgot to mention potentially is Tyrion's profits profits call also on Monday. I mean, they're at insane levels of short interest, and the fact that it dumped at the same time last night as Highcroft and GameStop.
Yep.
They're all moving together in ways that they can't really control anymore, and it's got to pop at some point. Just my opinion, not financial advice, but.
No, I agree with you, man. I'm actually going to look at the Ader options. Do they have options? I'm going to look at that and check out what their strike prices has been for their highest open interest on the lowest strike and see if that.
It's been at 100% utilization for 58 days.
Wow.
Short interest popped to 200 and something percent briefly. It makes no fucking sense. The whole thing is beyond insane. I would definitely look into it.
Gold got his hand up.
ATER is the ticker.
What's up, Gold?
Hey, Spence, I just wanted to touch back. You remember that fellow that was kind of came at Terrible about GME and, Patrick about pushing that NFT or whatever?
Yeah.
And, he kind of was getting upset. He had messaged me, man, like DM'd me. And I think, he is a fellow ape or whatever, but I think what people were kind of getting to is they were kind of taking an emotional standpoint when Patrick was speaking instead of taking it from looking at his perception and also looking at it from Tara Bull's perception. People like Tara Bull and Spence and people that put their necks out here, they deal with a lot of backlash from people or harassment from shills and everything like that. So they're going to be quick to call people out on shit because they don't like that, like nobody likes that. So you got to look at it from their perception as well. But also take into account, we're not trying to cause a divide between GME or HYMC or AMC. The way I see it is personally, I've always seen, I invest in HYMC and AMC because I can't necessarily afford to put a bunch of money into GME, for the MOAS for people who have been there since day one, So I've always seen HYMC and AMC is when I'm buying into that, it's going to cause a trickle effect because I'm taking away, if any of those squeeze, it's going to take the liquidity of the hedge funds that are shorting the stocks in general and the stock market in general. It's putting a dent into things. And MOAS will come. You don't need to just put into one stock or your GM, do your thing. Everybody do your thing, like that's the whole point of this. Do your thing. MOAS will come in time. Everybody just keep fighting the corruption, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, work hard, provide for your families. Don't rush it. Don't get so stressed out that we're anticipating this MOAS, So that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to cause divide amongst everybody.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I don't care what stock you're in. But if you come into my space call and you're like, well, you never heard of this and that. Come in fucking correct and polite, man. We joke around and we do this and that. But when your first words in my space call from someone who doesn't follow me are rude, you're going to get booted, man. And then if you're going to go be a little baby about it and make a tweet saying this room is garbage, AMC is garbage, then go fuck yourself. That's how this works.
Exactly. I'm here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
You disrespectful one, bro. GameStop is the move. AMC is a distraction.
Well, no, hold on. Okay, hey. Okay, hold on.
NFTs are not the move. In what world? In what world are AMC NFTs?
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Okay, look, I know this was. Hey.
Ain't no
sunshine. Sugar. This.
All right, one at a time. Go.
No, let him embarrass himself some more. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is ape fungus. Okay, he met DM'd me. He's a fellow ape. He has his convictions in GME. Okay, guys, we're talking to fellow apes. I know the divide is there. That's the divide.
No, there's no
be stronger than ever.
There's no divide except for people coming in and bashing
And
other
disrespecting.
retail shareholders.
Yes, he is. There's mad disrespect. To him
That guy and
Ape Fungus.
Hold on, one at a time.
Okay. Hey, Ape Fungus here just tweeted. The space is a joke. AMC NFT is a joke. GameStop is MOAS. Okay, fair enough, and we've been cool and let you up in here to speak.
So Ape Fungus, you want me to stop buying shit from GameStop if you want to come in and bash AMC in the space call?
I own GME. I own Oculuses. I own...
No, you all buy what you want to buy. It is just incredibly sad to see an entire community be led to the wrong play. And sure,
according to what?
According to fundamentals, technical analysis, GameStop's $450 high.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You tell
Yeah,
me,
and
bro.
AMC $72 high was nothing, right?
450 is higher than 72. Last I checked, bro.
Man.
Man.
Okay, so you come in and you're like AMC's garbage
American school
because of
system does work.
fundamentals.
AMC is
I just
love AMC. AMC's made me money. I'm just saying, Moax is GameStop. Don't get it twisted, dude.
and here, let me just say this:
Jesus
are you
Christ.
insinuating that GameStop $470 share price was due to fundamentals? Because that's what it sounded like to me.
No, that's the squeeze. That is the squeeze play. You
Right,
win.
and so okay, so are you insinuating then that GameStop has already closed?
You know what?
And that's
Because of you, now I'm not gonna go buy any shit from GameStop. Congratulations on hurting your investment community.
Bro, that's
Because
the
you
way
are
not
such a
to be.
joke and you're
That's
so
not
rude.
the way to be. That's not the way I want to be. I apologize.
Then don't do it. Come in and
I
be like,
apologize.
good luck, guys, just like we do to you.
Ask the guy who spoke for me. We have a perfectly civil conversation going in our DMs.
I just brought you in so you guys could hash it out. I didn't want it to get heated. I wanted everybody to look at it from a non-biased perspective. We all have convictions in this,
And
guys.
the first thing he did was come in and say AMC's a joke.
Yes, and that was disrespectful.
all right,
I agree.
Initially, what threw me off was that an ex-Citadel employee didn't know who Dave Lauer is, who is arguably the Citadel employee who has informed all of us what we suspected.
Dude,
That's
there are over
completely
7,000
untrue.
people working at Citadel. Why in the world would he know every single person at Citadel? Why? Have you ever worked in a corporation like Citadel, maybe Nomura, somewhere on Wall Street, where there are over 200 employees?
To be totally honest, I think you don't know as much as you think you do about what's actually going on. I hope your GameStop position goes to the fucking moon because it's going to help everybody and any other squeeze play. But to say that Dave Lauer is the reason that this thing got the lid blown off of it is completely wrong.
Not what I'm saying at all. I just thought it was suspicious how the gentleman did not know who Dave Lauer was. All I was saying.
Well, then you could have come in and you could have said, hey.
Can I just ask a question to our friend, our GameStop friend? Where have you worked? Where have you worked that has had more than 50 employees? Have you ever been in a position? Have you ever worked for a corporation or and even an investment brokerage firm or a bank that has thousands of employees? And did you know every single one of those employees?
No, and I get where you're coming from.
So then how can you say that he's not on the money if he doesn't know Dave Lauer? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Only because Dave Lauer seems to be the head that is speaking for Citadel Securities. When you Google ex-Citadel employee, Dave Lauer pops up. Not the gentleman that you all just had on your space call.
I'll tell you, man.
Well, I mean, have you Googled him before? I mean, I never have. So it says nowhere that he's an ex-Citadel employee. Well, you know what? You could Google me until the cows come home. You will never find out that I worked for Nomura Securities for 7 years.
But I use my real name.
I'll tell
So,
you, dude.
I mean, go figure.
Coming in and saying AMC is garbage immediately when someone just tried to DM you and serve up some peace and extend an olive branch, and you don't seem to actually know what's going on is exactly why Gasparino bashes retail all the time.
Gasparino is laughing at us because we're not buying GameStop. He's laughing.
Man, you giving him
He's
too much
laughing
time,
at us
man.
because of what you just said.
Nobody.
Spence, just be done with this because this is just going around in circles.
we don't need this all night, man. This is just wrong.
That is what gives retail a bad name. And now because of that, so all the GameStop community knows, because of that shareholder, I am now not going to buy GameStop products for a month. See, and that's what he causes. That's what the GameStop maxis cause, is they make people not want to buy the product because their attitudes are garbage. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to go to GameStop, but that's my example on how these idiots
Thank
ruin
you,
movies.
Spence. Thank you.
And I'll still own my GameStop. Oh, not, but I mean,
Yeah.
I love
They make
GameStop,
me-
man. I always
they-
go to GameStop. We go to the mall. Me and my daughter go to the mall every weekend. I've bought more video games and consoles in the past 6 months than I have in my entire life.
I just want to put this out there because of the GameStop Maxi. I swing trade GameStop now. I can't hold GameStop the way I hold AMC because I feel as if it's not. It's not. They couldn't care less who was holding. They're just about themselves. And if you hold AMC and GME, you're an idiot or something. And who cares? So I've made a ton of money on GameStop so far.
Most in our group,
GameStop stock shares, most of them, way back in June and May of last year to buy AMC. So there you go.
most in our group are bistonctual. We come up with that term a long time ago. A lot of people that I work with on a daily basis own GameStop and AMC. So for people to come in and, ooh, AMC's stupid, you're in a room full of people that own fucking GameStop, you tool. Good God.
Can I just say something for a second? I think part of the problem with the entire term of MOAS is like it's, and part of the idea is that it's only going to happen to one company and one stock. And yeah, one stock is going to get higher than everything else, and maybe that'll be GameStop. But the fact is, since EFTs even existed, there's pretty strong evidence to suggest part of the shorting they're doing is through ETFs. They're shorting a bunch of stocks at once. You can see them moving together, and maybe GameStop would be the mother of all, but that doesn't mean like high seas lift all boats, or high tides lift all boats. Any like action for GME, I'm not gonna. I don't personally hold any because it's a bit expensive to get in per share, but I'm not going to dump on anyone that holds it. It's their success will likely lead to our success. I think there's that disconnect that everyone gets where they think, oh, my way is the way and there's no other way. Just my point of view.
Oh, you're 100% right. Sorry, I'm eating macaroni and cheese.
I think the disconnect comes from super stock.
Yeah, some of the communities are just, it happens with all online communities, in an attempt to get rid of shills, they end up becoming huge bubbles. And they're just all talking about the same thing.
100%.
So who even knows if that guy with the fake profile photo and the fake name even owns GameStop? He might have been a bad actor put into the community months ago to disrupt rooms. Who knows, man?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't make any sense. We have big time GameStop supporters constantly in our calls all the time. Because if you come in polite and you come in and like, hey man, yeah, GameStop, and then I have not been convinced because of GME Maxis to go buy GameStop. I almost did at $90, and I was like, these Maxis come in and harass me non-fucking stop because I like AMC. It's crazy, man.
It's like, get a life.
See, but this is what they are trying to do. Some of these people are just paid to divide us because as long as we are all together, they know that our power is in our numbers. That's all we have. I mean, we have tried everything, buy and hodl and everything. They are and there will be more and more people like these, those who will say, oh, I'm a AP, this and that. And then they will get in the communities trying to infiltrate the community from within. So, be careful going forward, because if we are getting close, if we won't be getting close, this shit won't be happening. And
I just remember APE stands for all people equal. Yeah. If you're coming in without that mindset, then you can't call yourself one.
I bought eight GameStop shares just to support them, because I think we are all in this together, and that's what people are forgetting. The day we get divided, the day we got all on our separate paths, we are done.
I have an Oculus, I have a freaking Nintendo Switch. I've got a bunch of other little games. Every game on my rack there's from GameStop. My PlayStation's from GameStop. I carry my fucking GameStop bag in the grocery store every week to go buy groceries, man. So when people come in and they're like, AMC stupid GameStop, so you guys are idiots. Go ahead and keep doing that, and I will stop going to GameStop. Promote your company in a way that you want it to be represented and make it a good image of yourself. Don't come into rooms and just start talking shit because you read something on Reddit that got you all twisted up. Can you imagine if the AMC community would have fully backed David and Goliath? This would have fell apart 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same shit you see happening in politics everywhere. It's so fucking divisive. Everyone who's not on your side is suddenly your mortal enemy.
But
instead of looking for the commonality of like, hey, we're all being fucked by billionaires every day, and why not group together and stop them?
We're all retail, man.
They're not going to like that, so of course they're going to, send their little henchmen in to, disrupt that. Same fucking play has been going on for centuries. Anytime proletariat start to rise up, the rich and wealthy and powerful get nervous.
And just to identify if that guy was a true GameStop holder, my example was set to either tell the GME maxis to chill out and stop harassing people so that we can have inter-community connectivity and make a difference, or B, start weeding these people out so we know who is a false prophet of the GME crowd, man.
Yeah, they just does not compute for these game maxis, so fuck them. Go ahead, Gold. You don't need your hand up. Go talk.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you guys for trying to address that again, but I can honestly he's still DMing me and stuff, and he's I can honestly say he's a legit person. He said he's sorry and all this stuff, and he does obviously look up to you, Spence, because you do put out good knowledge, and he was here in your space call. But I just want to say I agree with everything you were saying, Spence and Jen, and everybody's talking about the shills. I've been here since day one and seen you guys and witnessed you guys get attacked a lot. But I also want to say that we have everybody our fellows, we have to just not be so quick to chalk it up as a shill and just have that mob mentality of kick everybody out. That's what Elon Musk buying Twitter, don't silence them, don't block them, don't kick them to the curb. It's frustrating. It's hard to deal with that.
Tell him to come in and promote GameStop instead of make it look bad.
I got so much mad love for everybody, and I have a theory that this year is going to be, we thought the divide was bad politically and through the world this year. I think that this coming year is going to be the worst year of divide ever, and we're seeing it in so many angles within the stock market, at different aspects of the world, and I just hate to see people on here bickering and arguing when we are all fighting for the same cause,
I do.
It's real simple. Come in and promote GameStop and say, hey, man, I got a new catalyst for GameStop. Yeah. I'll be all freaking ears, dude.
Can I get him back in here? Can we just make amends?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might not be able to. We'll have to do it in another call.
Okay. Hey, I'll send him a message, and I'll say for him to send you a message, Spence.
Yeah, just tell him to come cool, man. Don't, come in cool and be respectful.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I don't have him blocked. He's cool. That's fine, just as long as he comes in and he's cool and he's nice and kind and respectful to everyone here, we're cool with that.
It's a matter of maturing your personality and knowing what we're doing.
I just want to say that Paul just showed us, tweeted or DM'd it. 6 minutes ago, this guy he said that the AMC NFTs are a joke and that it's getting clearer and clearer each day to see the bad actors in the community.
What NFT? We only have one NFT.
I don't know. He did it 6 minutes ago at 6:40. He said, my choice is AMC NFTs are a joke. The bad actors in this community are more and more obvious every day. So was he sorry in the last 6 minutes? I don't know.
Doesn't even make any sense.
No.
Whatever. We'll give him some keys on timeout.
Yeah.
If you're a bet, let's let Swing speak on this. Swing's got more voice on this than anybody.
I'll read you what he said to me. He messaged me. He said, just need my fellow man to have my back. They didn't want to keep doing questioning me even after I apologized for offending anyone. He said they're attacked with their horrible ideas. He said, T0, how'd that go? And he said, and I only jumped because of an AMC NFT. People should be buying AMC, not the NFT. He said, now I'm blocked and can't reply. And he's literally spreading lies. And he's talking about, because now Paul's talking to him. And it's just amplifying into a bigger miscommunication. And I see it.
What he's doing, I'll tell you what.
NFC.
What he's doing is causing drama that's completely unnecessary. Yeah. The bottom line is he's changing the subject.
Yeah, I think
he could have came in.
Emotional.
Yeah.
He could have came in and been polite and said, "I'm not for AMC shares, but this is what's going on with GME." Okay? Go ahead, Swing. Swing is bistonctual and one of the best retail investors I know. I want to hear what he has to say.
You can? Okay. The part that I find interesting about this, and I have from the very beginning have been someone who owns both, and depending on the day, technically speaking, I might dollar amount wise own more GameStop than I do AMC currently. I don't know. I don't check that daily, but
we have to throw him out of the room.
But the part that I find interesting is that I have never in my life heard someone that owns AMC, like there's no such thing as an AMC maxi, in that AMC holders respect GME and what they're doing, as well as many own both. Whereas there is this aspect of on the opposite side of that coin, the GME elitists that say if you own AMC, then you're an idiot, or I can't respect you, or I don't understand anyone that doesn't own GameStop and that type of thing, which is it's doing the exact thing, which is ironic, because a lot of the GME people point to all the articles that say forget GameStop, forget GameStop, and they're basically doing the same thing about AMC, which is quite weird to me that they think that's going to work, because clearly it worked for them. They've clearly forgotten about GameStop because everyone told them to forget about GameStop. Meanwhile, they're trying to say forget AMC. The reality is they're both overshorted. One might have more of because of lack of debt, one might have more of a fundamental thesis behind it, but it doesn't change the fact that both were overshorted, and that the float might be owned multiple times over in both companies. At least that's my two thoughts on it. But anyway, yeah. I think both have a very large opportunity ahead of them, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. And it is a shame that there's people that trying to push one thing over the other.
Hey, Swing, that was very well said, and you make excellent points. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, how do you hold up your hand? That's a question, just so I can be respectful.
What's up?
How do you hold up your hands? Ask a question, just so I can do the same thing.
Oh yeah, so you have to go to the heart-looking thing with a plus. Do you see that? The heart on the bottom. You got it.
Got it. Thanks.
There you go, buddy.
Duckinator's had his hand up for quite.
Yeah, Duckinator and then Shug.
Quack.
Thanks. So I am like Swing in one way. I am bistonctual, and I hold a fair amount of GameStop. But unlike him, I'm a horrible investor. But the one difference is there isn't anybody out there that makes me want to hold my GameStop. But there's a whole room full of people here that I know I'm going to hold my AMC for. And that's a huge difference.
That was great. I love that.
I mean, find some, besides you guys who might be holding some. But, I mean, in this community, don't you want to hold so everybody has success?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I've been holding this long. Fuck yeah. Sorry. Said that forward.
But I'm FOMO, so I like to own everything. And I don't interact with the GME people, but I know how vile they can be. But there's no one out there that
it's a small percentage of them though that just created this like mentality of GameStop's it because someone on Reddit told me that GameStop is it.
Well, and they've been like that forever out on Reddit. At least for a long time.
And that's fine, but don't disrupt the rest of retail because all in a basket retail is retail. One squeeze will make the other squeeze at this point because the hedge fund market maker liquidity is bone dry, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I just wanted to say that because, you know, everybody here is just is holding for each other. Of course, we all want to succeed, but you know, I want to see Sugar succeed. I want to see him get a bigger house than that mansion he's making. I want to see everybody do well. I want to see him get a new cowboy hat.
Yeah, get 5 cowboy hats.
Man, I love you guys. You know, see, that's what this is all about. It's all about all of us, not just one person, not just one GameStop or AMC or HYMC. If we all understand, if AMC wins, GameStop wins, HYMC wins, we all win. We are all in this together. Without just one, if any one of us starts, it's just gonna lead to a second one and on to the third one. So you know, just like Spence said, there are just few people, those who are just there to divide and just to infiltrate, and it's been happening for the last 1 year or whatever you can say. But there are more good people like Duckinator, Spence, all you guys, whatever you are doing, just keep doing what you are doing, and you know, sooner or later, the day we all win. I want you all to come, you know, to have a, you know, drink with me. I'll invite you guys. I'll have a party at my home. Because for me, this community, it's not just about a stock. It's like a family. I made a family from this community like I never had in my life. So for me, you know, no matter what happens, how much time it takes, but at the end of the day, when I go to sleep, I know I am part of the best community in the world. I have never seen so much of dedication and so much of like appreciation, you know, love and care about each other. So just being a part of this community, just being an ape is the best feeling in the world. And I'm just proud to be a part of all of you guys, man. And when you go home, no matter what your stock did this week, don't take your frustration, anger, and all that home. Leave it outside the door of your home. When you go home, spend your time with your loved ones. You know, enjoy that because they need that time too. And if you will take that frustration, anger towards, you know, your home, it won't do no good. So I'm just blessed to have all of you in my life, man. I'm so happy that I just found all of you.
You know what, Sugar? Thanks, man. We love you. Forgot what I was going to say. It was really important. It was about your cowboy hat. Oh, you need to save that picture so one day when I come through Chicago, we'll get together and I'll play guitar and you sing and we'll make your first country album. That's got to be your album art.
I love you, Spence, man. You guys rock. You know, you guys have given a lot of people voice, hope. People like me who were shy to speak up.
I love you, Shug. Come on.
And you guys are genuinely good-hearted people. You are not here for clout or followers, all that. You are genuinely good people, and that's what I am so proud of to finding you guys. You know, because I am. Just the way I say it, what it's in my heart. I don't want to, you know, have this or that, not for clout or anything. I just want everyone to succeed. And if everyone succeeds, I succeed. That'll make me happy. You know, that's, so I'm
you're such a good person.
So
I love you, Shug.
99% of about the 300 people that came in this call either are just DMing me or liking it or saying what a great freaking call. So we just got to remember the small 1% that want to come in and ruin things because of ignorance or bad manners or just overall retardation, whatever you want to call it. We can't let them ruin the day.
I think the call was great. Hey guys, by the way, we do have 6 people requesting to try to come up. So if you are done,
I'll step down, Jen.
Are you sure?
We were gonna boot you anyway, sugar.
Yeah, we're gonna throw you out the room, so don't worry about that.
I'm gonna leave anyway, so I'm gonna head out.
I'm kidding.
Malcolm, thanks, man.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Welcome.
You were a fresh asset to the call.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm following you, so yeah, just so you know.
Yeah, I don't tweet a lot, but yeah. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I tweet way too much.
I've noticed.
That's why I had to shut my Spence alert.
Oh my
Twitter.
That's why PJ doesn't follow my tweets that would be making her money.
PJ, I follow your tweets, except yeah, this is true.
I made 13K off of Highcroft in the past 2 weeks because of my holes theory, and you missed it.
I know I did while I was also working. So
I've been buying
I'll
it. So.
turn it back on then.
All right, bye guys. Have a good one.
Bye. Have a good night.
I will only tweet 3 times a day from now on.
No, you know what comes up too? The replies. The regular tweets, but the replies. Anyway, so I don't even care. I will deal with it because I love your tweets, Spence and Jen.
Nice recovery.
Sugar and everybody's. So I think that this call was really good. I think we got a lot of really good work done tonight and a lot of really good understanding that we wouldn't have had prior without Patrick, and also without that guy who was bashing AMC, the NFT, because I think it shed a lot of light on how the GME elitists think and how we really are. And someone had said that, GME, that they hold GME, but they really don't hold for anybody, but AMC is a different story. And that speaks volumes to the community. And I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of us. And I know that together we will continue to prevail because we've come so far from last year. We really have. So far from January 2021 too. And I want to give a shout out, and I've been meaning to do this, so I hope they don't mind if I do it now, to Unusual Whales. I last night had the opportunity to bump into somebody. We had a conversation, and he had mentioned Unusual Whales and the congressional training, and he was flabbergasted. And I said, can you imagine this time last year, we really didn't know. This time, a year and a half ago, we had no clue. And it took this community to rise up against the status quo and expose. And that is huge. Thank you, guys. And thank you to Unusual Whales.
100%. Unusual Whales has done something to bring market visibility up so much through their data. It's just amazing.
So we do have a couple hands up. I'm sorry. Let's go to, I'm sorry. Omni-Law had his hand up first, and then Paul, and then
talk.
Whatever, talk, people. Whatever.
Hey, just one very quick thing that I wanted to share. Don't mean to interrupt at all, but I think it's important. Don't forget to go to AMC this weekend and blow Doctor Strange out of the water, all the estimates.
Bring your mama out. It's Mother's Day weekend. Bring your mom. Okay,
yeah,
grandma out. It's Mother's Day weekend. Treat them to something.
Yeah, they may not be a Doctor Strange fan, but you might be able to change their minds.
Even if they don't want to see that, there's other movies, okay? I mean, it's Mother's Day weekend. Treat them. Treat your mamas.
Doctor Strange is 100% a movie you should go see if you like the old classic horror monster movies, or if you like the new age possession type movies like Sinister, and if you like Avengers, and if you like The Wizard of Oz. I will tell you, I had so many nostalgic flashbacks of all these awesome movies. Sam Raimi knocked it out of the effing park. I'm going to go back to see it again because I think I missed so much because there was so much going on. It was amazing. And I'll tell you right now, kids under 12, some kids are more attuned to things than others. There is some pretty freaking gory, violent parts in the movie. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah. We got lots of hands up. It looks like you're ready to
Hi.
talk, girl.
Hey. Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Good. Happy Mother's Day weekend.
Hey, thank you. I'm not a mom. I'm a dog mom and a cat mom, but thank you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Mama, so.
Fur baby mom. No, I was just going to, I don't know if anybody saw the pre-market. I don't know if this was discussed. Did you see on GME how it went 29 minutes without one single share being traded in the first 29 minutes?
The pre-market this morning?
Yeah.
I'll have to check the time and sales, but no, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Also, and then as soon as it started, it was really funny because everybody on Weeble was like, what the hell, you know? and they were like, kick it, you know, poke it, make it move. And not one single share traded for 29 minutes. And then when it did start trading, in 6 minutes, only 10 shares traded, and it sat there like that for a long time. And then after about an hour, it went up to maybe 56 shares, and then it sat like that for another hour. So
wow, that's crazy. If that's not some type of data issue, then it's probably one of the market makers like Citadel just, oops, our algo wasn't working right today.
Well, I thought it was very interesting because I thought, what, they run out of shares?
Dude, they're out of everything. They're out of, the most important thing to know is that these guys are out of money. You can create fake shares all day. You can create, obviously the Fed creates fake money, but the true thing is that the reputation of these funds is what's actually traded. Citadel has been doing nothing but try to polish their image for the past 6 months, with Ken Griffin going on the Chicago Economics Forum and whatnot in his little interviews. And, oh yeah, I'm a gamer. He's not a gamer. He's a fucking dildo. So, excuse my language, but the hedge funds operate off a reputation. So they're losing that very quickly.
Anyway, I thought it was very interesting, and I didn't know if you guys anyone had noticed that, but I actually watched it for several hours during pre-market, and I was just completely blown away that only a few, less than 100 shares traded in the first 3 hours.
Sounds like people are holding the stock.
Yeah.
If there's nobody to sell, somebody came out and said when volume dries up completely, that's when the squeeze will happen because somebody's going to have to cover. If volume dries up, that means liquidity options also dry up for hedge funds that's trying to play options and their short position. You don't want to get stuck in a short position with a decent cost to borrow. So
yeah, it was interesting too because the 10 shares that traded at less, just about 3% down. So everybody was like, what, 10 shares can drive the stock down 3%?
Exactly.
So this happened with SPY on Wednesday, about like 356, maybe like 355 around there. It's the level 2 just dropped dead. Nothing was happening. And instead of the 300, 500,000 share buys and sells coming in, it stopped to 10, 5, 3, 1. And they were huge space between the bid and ask, spread between the bid and ask. And it was making the stock jump 50 cents here, 25 cents here. And it really, I've seen AMC do that. I've never seen SPY do that. And I'm wondering if it's kind of almost the same reason why that would happen in pre-market. I mean, is that a liquidity issue at the end of the day, or just algos being turned off and leaving it up to retail? I don't get that.
You know what's going to happen, and I'm going to put this in a PC gamer perspective, is that we're pushing the system so hard that they're going to run out of access memory and the system is going to crash. We're literally getting ready to glitch the matrix out based on how much pressure is on against the system. Any system, digital, financial, physical, can only attain so much stress in that system before it breaks. It's the law of simulation. So what's going to be funny is when these algos absolutely lose it and break down, the market's going to operate the way it should. And we're going to see such an intense squeeze that the SEC and the government are going to go into panic mode trying to figure out how to cover it up because they've allowed it to happen for the past 2 years. It's going to be crazy. Sorry, I got all nerdy on everybody there. I'll shut up. You guys go to the hand.
No, but Spence, I wanted to say that that's the absolute truth. They're trying to do whatever they can to not let this happen because they know at this point that, no narrative has been put forth that blames retail yet. I think they've been fishing it, but nothing has been put forth that would blame retail. And I think they're not doing it yet because I think that they will have, they won't be believable. People will not believe that a bunch of retail investors got together and crushed the economy. And I think I mentioned this before, my boomer friends, including one of my friends who posted last night, and he works on the floor of the NYSE, that everything is Biden's fault. And I'm like, no. Stop it. It is not. And it's like, so half the country is going to blame it on Biden. The other half is going to blame it, hopefully, on who deserves the blame. But we have to get that word out too. Like I think we have to get ahead of that narrative because it could be coming down the pike.
Well, just remember that, we try to separate reality as physical and digital in this age. There's no difference between an analog system and a digital system in the ideal of resources. When a system runs out of resources, it collapses. That's what's happening to the stock market right now. They're running out of potential resources to generate liquidity and move money. And once it's all locked up, somebody owes the other party. That's where we come in. Retail is basically putting the pressure on the resources available for these banks and hedge funds to run the scam that they've been doing for the past 10 years, 20 years, since 2008. Over-leveraged hedge funds, debt upon debt. They borrow to the hilt, and the moral hazard is absolutely freaking insane. That's with all these swaps, all the entire derivatives network is broken, and it's going to come crashing down, and I'm telling you, it's coming soon. Everything is pointing to something happening very soon. So, all right. Hans. Oh, Paul went away. I wanted to hear what Paul had to say. Yeah,
let's go with Papa Stone and maybe Zaminox. And let's claim it if you wanted to chime in or something, because I still see your hand up.
Oh, Liz, Pam said hi, by the way, from YouTube. Pam the Trader.
Hey, Pam. I love you, Pam.
Can you guys hear me?
I sure can. Hear you.
Awesome. Well, I don't mean to keep dragging this on. This is my first time I've ever talked in a space call. But I got pretty heated with the GameStop stuff.
Yeah.
In 10 days, I'm going to be 48 years old. I had to change my bio on Twitter just to stop these GME maxis from attacking me all the time. I've been gaming for 40 years. I started with Atari. I spend thousands of dollars at GameStop. I have thousands of dollars worth of GameStop stock. And what these guys, my message to them is just, you don't understand for one, you don't know who you're attacking online. I mean, I've had people come in and attack me for
you're not a gamer. Oh, I can stream movies from my couch. Well, do they know that I can buy games straight through my Xbox? Digital is becoming a huge thing. I can sit on my couch and buy my games straight through my Xbox, but I go into GameStop and buy them to support the company. And I've done that I've been shopping at GameStop almost 20 years. I remember standing out in the snow. I live in Wyoming. In 2007, waiting for the midnight release of Halo 3. In 2007, half these GameStop maxis probably didn't even know what a stock was. And I don't mean to get upset about it, but it's just, they don't realize by attacking people, I'm with Spence, what he said earlier. There's been times in the last few months I've wanted to sell and just get out of GameStop and be done with it. But I believe in the squeeze. I own a lot of shares, as I do with AMC. I'm a huge movie buff as well as a gamer, which is why I got into AMC in December of 2020 just as a COVID play, and also because I love the movies and the stock was cheap. At the end of January, I had a lot of shares. My cost average is $3. But since then, I've added huge amount. My cost average, I've only gone up. But anyways, not to get on that or sound like I'm bragging or anything, but I just wanted to get up here and just let these GME people know, you don't know who you're attacking online. You don't know how much money people spend at that store, how much, money they have invested in the company. And I've even responded to a bunch of them with, hey, this is not a way to get people into GameStop. And someone else mentioned earlier about, AMC community, everyone's welcoming and whatever. And that's what, it's fun to stay, and I want to hold for everybody. But like some other people mentioned, sometimes I just want to get the heck out of GameStop and be done with it. Not even, like Spence said, not even shop there anymore. I can buy my games straight through my Xbox or order my headphones and controllers from Best Buy. I don't know. So sorry for rambling, but
no, and we're hoping that guy's actually just some, people have said that he's a true ape and this and that. And okay, well, if you're vouching for him and then he comes in and disrupts the community, that's bad. But hopefully, and what I heard is in his voice, he definitely got shook when he started talking shit because he realized what he was doing after I told him. I said, you're literally making people not want to invest in GameStop. Are you going to go back to your community and go, I disrupted a space call of 300 people and made them all not want to buy GameStop? So he realized what he was saying after the fact.
Yeah, he embarrassed himself.
He's
really
just doing, he's just doing damage control now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And like I said, I still have my conviction I'm holding, and now I used to interact with people and argue, and now I just block people and I'm done with it. But yeah, just, that was my 2 cents, I think. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad I found you guys. I've been in the play a long time, but I didn't find you guys till probably 6 months ago or something, but I've been happy to listen to all your calls, and I appreciate everyone on here and everything you guys do.
Right on,
Thank you so much for coming up today and speaking your heart out. So we appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
And have a good weekend.
You too.
Great call, guys. Everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Cool. I have a couple of things. Number one, when Shug and Spence record, just meet in Indianapolis at Stone Tree. We'll get you taken care of. And
great, man.
The other
Thank
thing
you.
is, yeah, there you go. The other thing was, I hate to belabor this point as well about the dude, but when he started talking about the price, 470 is more than 72 or whatever. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense. It's all about percentages. It doesn't mean, it's not the amount of money. If you buy 10 stocks at $20 and they go up to 40, you've doubled your money. But you buy one stock at at $200 and it goes up to $240. It just doesn't make any sense. It's about the percentages. So I don't know if he really knows what he's talking about.
We have a larger float too. We're almost four times.
Exactly.
4.5. Yeah, we're almost 4.5 times the float, and so obviously it won't go up as much. I mean, if we had only 70 million shares, it would have probably hit 500.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is that I'm trying to stake claim to the bistanctual phrase. I think I wrote that first, so somebody has to put my name next to that.
I actually came up with it 7 months ago in Tara's call, so you're gonna have to fight me for it.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to block you now, man.
Everybody gets
I'll pull up my tweet. I'll pull up my tweet proof.
I'll pull up mine. No, I'm just teasing. But no, anyways, great call. That was freaking amazing. I'll step down and let you guys go. But I'll see you guys in Indianapolis after the MOAS.
Right on, man. Be prepared for my musical genius.
Oh yeah. I'm ready.
Man, thanks for coming up, Papa. All right, we got Mike and Thyra. I think Thyra was put his hand up first, so let's do Thyra and then Mike. Or whatever.
You guys hear me all right?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, what's up? So I just want to say, I stopped, when this play started. I was really into listening to like Trey's Trades and Matt Kors and all of them. And I always had a feeling that something fishy was up with these YouTubers, especially when these super chats started, and I just stopped listening to them. And then I just stumbled, I was just looking for something different, and I stumbled across like Twitter and Spence and Jen and Tara. And it was just so refreshing to hear a different perspective. And it was just a lot better. It just made a lot more sense to me. So these conference calls or space calls or whatever they're called, just have been so refreshing. So I'd just like to thank Jen and Spence and Tara. I don't know if Tara's still here for having these calls. So thank you for that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Two, it's always a pleasure listening to Sugar talk.
Yes, sir.
He kind of brings the emotions down and he puts everything into perspective. And so thank you, Sugar, for being so damn positive all the time. And three, it would really make me feel really good if everyone right now in the space call tweeted out #NoOptionsMay.
Yeah.
Options is our biggest problem. If I had to name like top 3 options for me would be the biggest problem in our movement.
Yep.
And so if everyone just tweets out no options made and we keep pushing that message, I think we're going to see the MOAS before you guys even know it. Anyways, that's all I have. That's all I had to say, guys. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to put in my 2 cents. I appreciate y'all.
Check out the pin up in the nest, up top in the frog pond. It's a good meme. No Options May was trending with a 350 number under the tag today, and HYMC closed above one of the strike prices, which was awesome. That means what we did worked. We closed above a market maker forced strike price on the call side, which means we beat them. It worked. It's working. And everybody that was listening to me bought the 125 dip like perfectly. And then this morning, if they listen to me, they bought the 143 dip perfectly. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but we made some freaking money this past 2 weeks. Toot. No Options May is it, man. I'm telling you, the market makers their algos are tripping, and the market makers don't know what to do because they can manipulate us through the options chain. They cannot manipulate us if we hold stock. We're taking their power away from them. Mike, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, man? Can you guys hear me pretty good?
Up, Mike.
Hey, what's up, Jen? PJ? I got see Sugar over there. What's going on, everybody?
Hi, Mike.
No one in my yard.
I know it's been a quite minute, like a long minute since I spoke on a space call. I think months, and just busy with life like everybody else. But today was like great space call, by the way, guys. This was really good. We needed something like this. Especially with the guy Patrick when Tara was here. I think that was really good. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you.
And all right, thanks. And then fast forwarding over to the guy Gold when he brought that other guy ape, with the ape icon. What I noticed in my perspective, and I'm in my car driving back home. I'm from San Diego back to Marietta. It's about an hour and 10 minutes, so I got a lot of time to listen to space calls and YouTube. What I noticed is gaslighting, and this is my takeaway for everybody. After certain things, like we need to remember, there's a lot of gaslighting still. There's a lot of shills. There's a lot of probably paid. I'm not saying this guy was paid specifically. I don't have any evidence or proof, but you just got to be very mindful and aware that gaslighting still happens. All those shills are still out there. And I remember this is when Lord Schmuckhead was around when he first came out. Like he was gaslighting like crazy. And I'm like, I got to, this guy, whatever. I thought the idea was cool. Like bring a short seller in, hear their perspectives, be respectful, professional, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And then he just went south. And that's what gaslighters do. Either they're paid to do it or they're in a play because they're short, whatever. Like if you're short, cool, just be professional, be respectful. But at the same time, if you start acting retarded, sorry, probably the worst word to use. If you're acting inappropriate, guess what? You're going to get blocked. You're going to get kicked out of a space call. So, I've been in this play for over close to 2 years. 2020 September, I got into investing, even probably earlier than that. I didn't find this community until around I don't know, man, it's been such a long time. I can remember Tara, she had 10,000 or less people on her account, and that's how long ago it was, and she's got quite the following now, and that's amazing. Because now especially with everybody, we can talk to more people and pass the word, and that's what this is all about. It's not about clout, it's just about passing the word, make sure everybody's informed, and that's a power. That's a very, very strong power. And my power is to pass the word of gaslighting.
Absolutely, dude. We've dealt with it for so long.
Well, I think that when Elon finally straightens out Twitter and gets rid of all the bots, it's really going to help a lot too.
Yes. Yeah. Trying to get my dog out of my chair. Sorry. But yeah, the bad actors in the community who again hide behind, and if you have a profile to protect your likeness and whatever, that's fine. But the influencers who have gained a following behind fake profile pictures and fake names, when they have to be verified, they're going to disappear. A lot of people you thought were apes are going to disappear. I cannot wait for that day. Sugar, you're the only one with your hand up, buddy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had few beers, so I can barely see.
Don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on either. I'm kind of getting it too.
I am just so happy, man. It's just like old times to see everyone together, like the gang. It's like it's beautiful to hear everyone. So like Mike, I every now and then I hear him. Like Tyra, first time I've heard him. Like this, as long as in this community you are for each other, you respect each other, and we all are for the one same goal, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter whether you have 1 share, 10 shares, or 10,000 shares. Just be respectful. And speaking of Tara, I still remember when Spence, you and Tara gave me a chance to speak up my story. The story I shared with you, I didn't even my wife doesn't know that story. So, that being said, that's how much you guys, this whole community means to me. And all of you guys, and I just want to see everyone be respectful, be kind to each other, because you don't know what other people are going through. So in coming in a space call, you gonna say AMC this and that. It's just nice. Just be nice, be respectful. If you can't do nothing else for each other or for this community, just don't be disrespectful. You don't have shares, that's fine. You don't want to be a part of this community, that's okay. But just don't be disrespectful for the people, those who are trying to uplift people every day, those who are trying to keep this community together every day. And we are all hurting. It's not, I don't care whether you bought it at $8 or I bought it at $49. We are all hurting, but we still trying to lift others up and keep this community together, because we know that if everyone wins, that's the only way we win.
You hear that, Mark? Don't be bringing any of that bullshit in here tonight, okay? I'll tell Tara.
Oh, I see Crow Boss is here. What's up, Crow Boss?
Sugar, I saw.
Uh-oh.
In classic fashion, we can't hear a thing Mark is saying.
You getting shorted, boss.
The second he starts talking, it's hysterical.
Hello? Crow, where's my crow?
You're breaking up real bad, Mark.
Uh-oh. Oh my
Hey,
God.
Mark.
Hey,
can you guys hear me now? I'm trying to get back on.
I think Citadel shut Mark's satellite down. He's probably out in the middle. Try again.
Well, Jim has his hand up. We can bring Mark back up.
Mark's probably out
Jim,
in the
what's up?
middle of the country riding his horse in his Crocs, trying to talk
Jealous.
on his face call.
So jealous. Nice. Jim, what's going on? Get your hand up.
What's up, Jen, Spence,
Okay.
Joe, everybody. Hey, Spence, great call on HYMC, brother. You called that shit, man. You called that shit. You called that shit a couple days ago. You were explaining it. We were talking Ape Radio. We're joking around. We're fucking around, being clowns that we are. We always talk serious. We joke around a lot of times. That was a killer call, man. Dino, my son, jumped in on that. I told him, I texted him. And he's like, I should screenshot the text and send it to you. You'll be like, what the fuck?
I would love that, dude. That means somebody listened to me, and I love it because I want you guys to make fucking money, man.
Dude, you said about the $1.50 thing. Once it's $1.50, you said you were going to be loading up. I heard you say earlier. I was just listening in. You said it went down to 140 something. I didn't catch that, but yeah, my kid picked up at 151. So that was, and you called it. So and the May 20th week, man, is going to be interesting.
I really think May 20th, according to the oils method, it looks like 250 is the lowest strike price with the highest open interest that's worth market makers stealing the premiums. So if we run to 230, 240 or hit 250 or maybe like a couple cents above and then bounce back down on May 20th, I won't be surprised. But what I'm hoping for is that May 20th, with all this pressure on the options chain and all these people holding the stock and the liquidity drain we've had, that we actually have gamma caused by market makers building up the options chain and the institutions instead of retail. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
You hear me now, Spence?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, but way better. Wow.
I was in the mountains.
Oh, I know how that is.
Wow, how was it?
It's good.
How
I'm
was
trying to track those rascals down. I hear the Tiger Cubs are making a run for Canada, and I'm trying to head them off at the pass.
I'll get my sled dogs out.
They've dug a bunch of holes for Melvin Capital.
Oh boy.
So the good news is everyone on this call has outlasted probably those funds.
That's right. That is right.
It shows you it's a dirty, dirty, dirty game. So the only thing I think I really have to add is I think Adam Aaron all has let you guys down in a very large way. And I've been criticized for criticizing him, but the best grade I ever gave him was a C+. Now I'd give him a D because the only one who's been enriched is him.
I don't blame you. I think a C+ was a fair grade when you gave it to him. And if people step back intelligently and look at the play and what has happened, then they would see that it's Adam Aaron fundamentally improving the company, yeah, but there's been no shareholder support whatsoever. So you're not wrong to say it, man. And anybody who disagrees is just blindfolded.
And he's gone very quiet. And I think the last time I was on a call with you, Spence, I dictated an email to everyone I sent to him.
Yep.
And he hasn't responded, which is sort of weak.
Well, now that BBIG just did what it did, you know, it's a thing of pride now, because more or less I think Adam Aaron probably's got somebody on his coattails that's not letting him do something. But at the same time, when you see other plays like Ader and BBIG and GameStop doing very aggressive anti-establishment attacks to support retail, and we're not, it blows my mind.
Yeah, you know, the only other thing I'll say, and you guys can pass it on to all the haters. You know, when I was there with Goon ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange a couple weeks ago, you know, which is no small deal for everyone who thought T0 was some form of scam. Everyone should note that no one from Citadel was in the audience.
Right.
And that's because Citadel has nothing to do with T0.
I caught that. I knew you were going to say something about it.
So for all the people back in the day who wanted to shoot down the idea because Citadel's involved, and took the idea to GME first, all the bullshit, you know, by that punk-ass Trey and all those other paid flacks was just all bullshit. And these guys are such cowards, they can't even, forget apologize, they can't even come and face the music and come with their facts.
Yep.
And really, you know, you guys should hold these guys' feet to the fire, because it's just been a shit show. And it's, you know, I'm sorry to see it. And it's sad, because I tried hard to help this and make this work, but, you know, it's an absolute mess. Absolute mess. So, it's not good.
We appreciate you, Mark. I know what you tried to do specifically. I know exactly what you tried to do. And unfortunately, it was just a little bit above the level of what some of the retail traders are. And I hate to say that. That's why I've always said we need apes evolved. People got to start learning and reading, man.
Yeah. And, you know, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, the final chapter has not hit, but, you know, hopefully if AA doesn't come around, you guys will get a little more aggressive towards it. A little more, you know, AA is the one you have to work on. Gasparino is not worth incrementally anyone's energy, because he can't make change.
Right.
AA can. So.
I get it, man.
That's what I got. But Suge has a beautiful house. PJ, I like your tweets, PJ. I think they're really good, and you're feisty enough to make it work.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I try.
Yeah, everyone's tried, and that's the good thing, and it's the sad thing. But you know, you gotta try. So there you go.
Mark, a lot of people in this call, you know, like whether it's Spence, Jen, Tara, we are not here. You know us from the day we started. We are not here for cloud chasing or followers or not. We want the best for the community. And, you know, a lot of people are hurting. So, you know, we have it's never been about us. It's always been about the community, and we want the community to succeed. That's all that it matters to us, you know. And sooner or later,
sooner or later, hopefully, we will succeed. We will.
There will be some separation somewhere as these hedge funds blow up, close down. I think everyone will eventually get to the bottom of this Robinhood thing that went down and pulling the buy button and all that kind of crap. But it's something. It is really something out there. It is a dangerous ass time, and these billionaire hedge fund guys are getting separated from their money very quickly. Very quickly. So, and the good news is I can't stand any of them.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Mark. And, and hopefully, it might take some time. You did, everybody in this community, we did the best we could. And let's hope for the best. I'm very positive because I love this community. I love this community. I don't think I have ever found so many good people in this community. I just can't believe there's so much goodness in the community. Just like you say, Average Joe has been one of the best assets of this community. So I'm just glad I'm a part of this community.
What up, Mike?
Nice, I'm back on. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
You can.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sorry about before I got into a really bad dead zone. Signal was lost. So.
It's okay. No big deal.
I'll just keep it quick yeah, no big deal. Yeah, just to conclude what I wanted to say was, gaslighting, psyops, and consistency. I just want to reiterate to everybody on here, I've been on these space calls and I've been following all you guys, and I really appreciate. So just massive amounts of gratitude. I'm learning a lot, and I'm still continuing to learn. And I'm also coming out with my own conviction. My conviction is getting stronger too because of the same wavelength, same frequencies that you guys put out. That's why I gravitate to y'all, and I really appreciate it. And Sugar Man, once again, here's more gratitude to you, with your positive vibes. Mark, good to hear from you too, man. One takeaway from Mark, if everybody doesn't know who he is, he was from his experience, he was a short seller, but I believe he's retired now. Really great information. He's a wealth and book of knowledge, and he knows both sides of the spectrum. And my biggest takeaway from him is he mentioned his grandfather that told him in his younger years is you have to look at both sides, optimism and pessimism. I'm an optimistic person, but I never looked into my pessimistic side. In the stock market, you got to look at both. If you don't, you're a fool. Now, at first, I was like, man, that's pretty harsh. But that's what Mark is. Mark's real, and he'll tell you the truth straight up. And that's the type of person we need in this type of scenario. So you may like him, or you don't. That's up to you. I personally like the words that he put out. And so, along with everybody in this space, as long as you're respectful and you got a lot of good stuff to put out, your conviction, easy day. But that's pretty much all I got. And thanks for having me on here, guys. Great call today.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for the kind words, Mike.
Yeah, no problem, Mark.
Hey, Mark, I have a question. I saw in Bloomberg the other day this kind of headline that said Wall Street isn't ready for what's to come, alluding to the DOJ investigations. And it had a big picture of Wang on before the article, which I didn't read because I'm not giving Bloomberg $2.50 a month. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think that's truthful, misleading? What do you think is coming down the pike?
Well, first of all, I couldn't stand Bloomberg because I had a opinion guy who was on my ass with false statements. And it took me 2 years, but eventually they fired us. Sorry.
Lucero?
And then I had a boy. Nostera. That ass hat. But they have a special. You can get an introductory offer, 99 cents a month for 3 months. So maybe you get that and then cancel it after 3 months. So the good news about the internet and the shit I do is everyone keeps records of it, and I've been after this cocksucker Wang forever. When it all first came down, I was after him, and I think he ties into that Robinhood fiasco because his buddies were playing or doing the same kind of stuff. So this guy broke the law. He defrauded many out of billions and billions of dollars, and it sort of dovetails with what they're doing with the shorts, the DOJ short investigation. Then they have the block trading investigation. But it requires people at the government doing their job at a high level. And I don't know where everyone comes down on that. And if people do their jobs, there should be hell to pay. If people look the other way or do a slapdash effort, then guys get away. I mean, I think Melvin is a problem. I think SAC is a problem. I think Ken Griffin is a problem. The Tiger Cubs are a huge problem. And these guys screw around with the markets and they cost innocent people money. You know, frankly, Trey's a problem. Trey's a huge problem. I mean, he needs his ass investigated to see what he was saying versus what he was actually doing.
And I'm gonna back that, because more than less in the past 2 months with him pushing his little theory about hedging your position, you know, he bought $100,000 worth of shares at around $14, and then 2 weeks later comes out talking about buying puts to hedge your position against downward pressure, when he's really, in fact, most likely selling covered calls, making money off the community. I'm sorry, but I agree with you fully, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you rebuild the timeline on who was saying what about whom and how it was going down and who was if people weren't advocating for buy and hold at $70, y'all would have sold. I mean, so if someone was advocating for buy and hold and they sold, I would have a real problem with that if I was a regulator.
Well, he didn't even have he bought a call option, so he wasn't even holding stock at that time.
Again, I think there has been a lot of crime in the casino. The question is who wants to do what about it and who's going to be held accountable. I mean, that I think is the issue here. You know, and to me, people should hold Adam Aaron accountable, because first of all, my plan wasn't illegal. Second of all, you know, he had no basis to say that. And the second he said that, he took all the cannons out of the cannonball.
The stock literally dropped from $45 to $30 in like a month.
Yeah, and now it's 14. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot, PJ, that could be done. There's a lot that can be exposed, but a lot of that stuff is over my. All I can do is speak out. I don't have the ability to prosecute people. I don't have the ability to subpoena people. So we'll see.
Mark, do you think that Huang is going to sing like a canary?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think we'll see anything happen from that?
Of course he will. He'll sing like a canary.
Oh, he's going to sing.
380 years. He's going to sing.
I said once that jailhouse butthole touches his that jailhouse toilet paper touches his billionaire butthole, he's going to sing like a canary, dude.
He's going to.
I just think that
end up with a job, probably head of the SEC, to prevent corruption, because he knows how this works.
Yeah, but I think the trick is the will to really get after it, and I just don't know the government's will. If I were someone important doing this case, I'd want to make a name for myself and take down as many people as they possibly could. But again, we'll see.
I think they're saving it for midterms, Mark. That's my opinion.
Absolutely.
Mark, before you
aren't that far away.
Before you leave, I have to say one thing. You will be always the crow boss, and nobody can take that away from us.
How about that Adam Aaron trying to troll me and take my crow stuff? How about that?
No, he wasn't trying to troll you. He was trying to troll. I thought he was trying to troll he was trying to serve. He was taking it. He was taking your crow, but he was to serving other people.
Impersonation is the greatest form of flattery.
Imitation's the greatest form of flattery. And then we have that guy who can't grow a mustache, Brian Cohn, getting me suspended from Twitter for a week. And that guy's stock hasn't seen the light of day.
In his defense, your grammar was terrible. Little punctuation might help you separate executing someone from executing a plan.
Well, let's understand something. It is Twitter.
Yeah.
People do make typos.
Oh yeah.
I did appeal it and explain what it meant. You know.
And there's no edit button.
I'm the king of typos. Everybody knows that.
Normally, if you do some stuff on Twitter, they give you a warning before you send it. Like sometimes I say F-U-C-K and they say, do you want to send that? That could be offensive. So then I back up and hit F-C-K. They could have said you're about to do something inflammatory. They don't like when I use the word asshat, but they had no problem with E-X-E-C-U-T-E, in a week. I mean, come on. But such is it.
When I read it, it read like you should execute Ryan Cohen, not Ryan Cohen time to execute.
Well, I mean, whatever.
It happened though.
Water under the bridge.
Yep.
Hey Spencer, thanks for making me my voice heard. I really have really enjoyed your input. You have made a tremendous difference. You have changed the way I think. And I've been saying, these options are so outrageous. Why would you even go for that?
Yep.
And I am full support for the NOM. And I started another hashtag, NOM-ISE, like namaste.
Yeah.
I thought it's kind of cute. So I'm trying to get that going, and I'm trying to, I got your back, brother, man. You are, I feel like I'm standing in front of a movie star right now. You know what I mean?
I'm just a dude, bro.
Dude, I'm just so flattered. When I go into the space call and I raise my hand, I get, you guys answer me real quick. So I want to be respectful. And I'm in GameStop and AMC, and I'm for change, period. Not for who's going to get the most damn money. It's not about the fucking money, man. It's about protecting people.
Yep.
How many retirement accounts I've seen over my lifetime? I'm 48, going to be 49 July. Think about lifetime. How many people got robbed right at the last minute?
Yep.
Bullshit, man.
Well, my mom's getting ready to retire here soon, and I told her, I said, get your money out 6 months ago. I said, if you don't pull your money out, Mom, you're gonna have to work 2 more fucking years, and that's what's happening now.
You're seeing people now, I got 70 years old. He's 70 years old, and he's still working till the end of the year. He'll be 70.75 years old when he retires. I'm like, that's not fair.
Jen, does your mom listen to anything you tell her?
No.
Okay, it's a Michigan
Does
thing.
the same thing back. Yeah, but it's you never listen to what I have to say. So it's the same thing. It's weird.
I'm like, Mom, the market's going to crash. You're going to lose your retirement. Oh, everything will be fine because they're used to.
She has a financial advisor and everything else, and it's okay.
Never trust a Michigan financial advisor. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's 100%.
The guy,
I'm trying.
My aunt and uncle's Michigan financial advisor first told them to get into Nikola. And I told them Nikola was a total fraud. This was a long time ago. I said, Nikola's a fraud. Don't do it. And they listened to me, luckily. But then he said Robin Hood's it. Robin Hood's the buy when Robin Hood was still at like $30. And they didn't listen to me and they wrote it down to $15, man.
Oh my God.
Not good.
Yeah, I mean, you can only try, right?
The important thing to know is that I'm always right. I'm never wrong. Damn it.
Right. That's
Dude.
like how my mom and my dad, like, you know.
I put my leg.
Also, like.
I put my legs on 2 pants at a time, just like everybody else.
Like, for my parents, so okay.
Well, hell, guys, I'm getting pretty worn out. Need to take my dog outside, so I'm gonna close the call down. I want to thank just everybody for coming to the call today. Thanks for Tara for showing up, Patrick for showing up, Jen, Mark, Sugar, Liz, Vanilla, everybody that came up to speak. Mark, thanks for popping in. I know you're busy right now.
Yeah, thanks for coming up to speak, Mark.
I just wanted to say hello, and I'm ready for Sugar to come visit me when he can leave his mansion.
You bet. I'm definitely coming this summer to meet you. Definitely.
Sounds like a Netflix series to me. Sugar Mansion.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God. Just the Sugar Man.
Sugar, just get on the 90 and head west. Okay, just get on the 90 and head west.
Well,
okay. I bought so many fireworks in Battle Mountain, Nevada. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And if you don't blow off your hand, it'll be a miracle.
Oh my God.
Like your cowboy hat and stuff.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, you'll run around with guns and shooting things. It'll be perfect.
Oh my God. That's what I want. Okay, Mark, I'm taking you on that. Thank you so much.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Oh, and for all you moms out there, have a very happy Mother's Day.
Yes,
It's a tough job, so enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, we'll try. I got to mow the lawn. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Let's fucking go. Drink some more wine.
Good night.
Y'all have a phenomenal weekend and go see Doctor Strange. It is such a good movie, you guys. Blow it up. If you're for AMC.
If you convince me, I think I'm going to. So actually, I have to convince my husband.
It's such a good movie, man.
Mom's Day weekend. So yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll catch y'all later. Stay safe this weekend. We need everybody on deck Monday. So no drinking and driving.
Good. Yeah, exactly. No drinking and driving.
It's not my say weekend.
Let's go, baby. AMC of the moon.
Not my say.
Everybody, thank you for coming so much. I gotta go. I gotta take my dog outside. He's about to pee on the floor. I will catch y'all Monday. Hopefully our Hoyles method sticks true for a couple more weeks before hedge funds catch on and change their algorithms. I'm really looking forward to the week of May 20th. Y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe. Go to the movies. Go see Doctor Strange. It was phenomenal. I'm going to go see it again tomorrow. Have a good one. Froggy Songs out.